Okay, for the last question, this is an open-ended question. So in your opinion, which management initiatives or strategies are most effective in ensuring the sustainability of small-scale fisheries? In your opinion, which management initiatives or strategies effective in ensuring the sustainability of small-scale fisheries?
Last 30 seconds.
Last 30 seconds. Thank you po for participating.
Thank you very much, Ma'am Ning. Palakpakan naman natin mga sarili natin. So, very interesting results, no? And I think lumabas yung mga major issues confronting our small-scale fishers. Hindi lang ngayon, no? For the past few decades siguro. And I think yung pinaka-highlight dito yung capacity ng LGU, no? I think we really need to capacitate them. Siguro yung mga graduates natin, baka gusto nyo i-consider mag-apply sa mga LGUs natin, no? Di ba? And also yung pag-uusap daw ng mga different agencies, yung mga agencies with mandates on small-scale fisheries. Kasi minsan, nalilito rin yung mga fishers natin. Kaya sabi niya, pumunta dito yung isang agency, iba yung mga ganun na ano ba. Well, anyway, thank you for your participation. I recognize na medyo short na tayo sa time. Let me proceed na lang with our presentation for today, this morning. Nag-start pa? Continue pa? Naana. Point ba sa atin? Hindi yata nag-point. Anyway, dito na lang ako. Oops, sorry. Bakit naga? So, basically what we're presenting are the research that we've conducted in Tawi-Tawi na related sa small-scale fisheries. Medyo mahabang presentation, but let me present this as fast as possible para we have enough time for the next special session and also for the closing program. So, coral reefs, small pelagics, and the dynamics of small-scale and commercial fisheries in the Sulu Archipelago. So, I'd like to advertise over and over again that Tawi-Tawi is right at the heart of the Coral Triangle. So, parang yan na as far as marine biodiversity is concerned. Well, I think everybody is aware that Coral Triangle is the richest, no, in terms of marine biodiversity, particularly coral reefs in the world. And right at the center of that triangle is Tawi-Tawi, or the Sulu Archipelago in general. Let me speak about the Sulu Archipelago, the Basilan, Sulu, and Tawi-Tawi. But actually, kaya nga sabi namin heart of the Coral Triangle. But actually, it's not just the location, no? We have a very simple research. This was supported by NAST, no? The UST NAST, where we did market surveys. We did inventory of the different species sold at the market of Tawi-Tawi. And then we compared it with available data, no, from the book published for Palawan and also in Panay. And then yung sa amin hanggang ngayon in prep pa rin yan. But we only limited our studies sa commercially important coral reef fishes composed of these families. We did not consider yung mga wrasses, yung mga butterfly fishes and all. So overall, the results showed that we have higher number of species, no? Consistently across all fish families that we've surveyed. So this is the, like, Tawi-Tawi is the red graph, and then Palawan white, and then Panay black. And then that's for the market surveys. And now, this paper is not yet published, but I think we've collected enough data for us to publish it in good journal. This is fish visual census surveys that we've conducted from 2018 to 2024, and we have more surveys that we've conducted in 2025. So overall, we've covered 10 out of 11 municipalities, including Turtle Islands. Wala dito yung Mapun, no? Because very far, we have challenge in terms of logistics, ang layo, walang regular na boat papunta doon. So we didn't have the chance over the past 5-6 years to go to Mapun. But the rest of the municipalities were really covered. And then, if you see, we've surveyed 21 sites out of those 10 municipalities, covering 239.50 by 10 meters transect. So that's about 239 dive hours, no, sa Tawi-Tawi. And then, when we compared our results to existing data, ito yung paper ni Dr. Nanola et al. So, in terms of species accumulation curve, it's almost the same, no? We've recorded actually 629 species, and from 180 genera and 59 families of coral reef fishes. I mean, at least from fishes recorded during the surveys. In the paper of Nanola et al. Also, because this is the most comprehensive to date, no, FVC surveys, covering surveys from 1991 to 2008, almost 20 years of data all over the Philippines, and they've recorded 721 species. And also, Nanola et al. Grouped the different seas of the Philippines into biogeographic regions, yung kay Alinio and Gomez, no? Gomez and Alinio, 1994, into Sulu Sea, yung CS Celebes Sea, North Philippine Sea, South China Sea, South Philippine Sea, and so on and so forth. So overall, they've recorded 721 species. But looking at the per biogeographic region, yung highest ay yung sa Sulu Sea at 494 species. But looking at our data, so amazingly, we have recorded 629 species. Sabihin natin may mga mali, but I think still the number of species is still very high, no? And we have a theory. These are the most common species in terms of fish biomass, no? If you see, the number one is the Carcharenus limbatus. That's a black-tip shark, no? So if you go diving in Tawi-Tawi, joke. If you go diving in Tawi-Tawi, malamang makakita ka ng black-tip shark. Hindi, joke. Actually, we only recorded black-tip sharks sa Turtle Islands. Napakarami ng black-tip sharks sa Turtle Islands. If you go there, sigurado, I'm sure makakita kayo ng black-tips. Why? Because of the turtles. Kasi yung mga hatchlings, pupunta sa dagat, yun ang inaabangan ng mga sharks. Nandoon sana, you can actually dive with them. Napakaganda. But for the rest of Tawi-Tawi, I haven't seen, even my colleagues haven't seen many sharks in Tawi-Tawi. So yan, this is based on biomass. Yan yung mga most dominant species. Yan, butterfly fishes. And then, we all know about Tubataha Reefs, no? So I think yan yung lagi naming sample, yan yung parang lagi naming bar, no? It's considered the most pristine, the most well-managed reefs in the world. And then when you dive, yan, sigurado nakakita tayo ng mamming and sharks. But I think sa Tubataha, white-tip sharks yung marami doon dominant. And then also occasionally you can see manta rays. These are the photos that we took personally, no, when we went to Tubataha last year. So, ayan, sina Doc Ting, kasama kami dyan. But the reason I showed you this one, because we had a paper, we had a analysis using this as a proxy for unfished biomass. But just to compare, no, this is the underwater of Tawi-Tawi, underwater reefs of Tawi-Tawi. Pinakita ko lang dito sa baba the effect of ship grounding, no, nung look, na as in na bulldoze yung reef, bottom left corner. And the adjacent reef is parang ganun. So laki ng damage. But what I really want to tell here is that the underwater of Tawi-Tawi, the biodiversity, particularly coral reefs of Tawi-Tawi, is very nice. It's even comparable to Bataha, no? When you dive. For example, ito yung mga dive sites namin. Kaganda. These are the deeper part of the reefs. But you know the big difference between Tubataha and Tawi-Tawi? Ano? Ang layo ng distance. No, Joe. The fishes. No? Ang ganda ng dagat, pero parang wala tayong nakikita masyadong fishes. Like manta rays, like sharks nakikita natin, but big fishes. Yung theory namin, because when you go to Bataha is protected for so long. So yung mga fishes, pag dive mo, nandun lang. Feeling namin, it's my first time to dive into Bataha, I was so impressed. You can almost like pet the fishes. Parang hindi sila takot. But in Tawi-Tawi, pag dive mo, parang mga takot siguro because of the fishing pressure. No? But still, we've recorded many species, no, high number of species as compared to the rest of the Philippines maybe. So, but when you go to the market, ito yung mga common sinners in the market, no? Yes, you can find mga big fishes, especially mga top predators, mga high trophic fishes, and unfortunately including sharks. Those are treasure sharks, no? It's one of the common source of livelihood in one of the islands in Tawi-Tawi. So napakarami in the market. You cannot actually see them, especially here, no? Bottom center. So those are groupers. Those are suno, no? Suno, ang daming suno dyan. But when you dive, you seldom actually see them. So, we have a theory, no? Why Tawi-Tawi, or the Sulu Archipelago in general, is so diverse. Why? So, first of all, the Sulu Archipelago, as I said earlier, is located at the heart of the Coral Triangle. So, we all know, biologists know that there's a theory that the center of diversity is usually the richest also, in terms of species richness. And then, it lies between the Sulu Archipelago, it lies between the Sulu and Sulawesi Seas. You look at the map, sa top map, parang dalawang napakalaking basin, and then may pader dyan na nakaharang. So those are two distinct biogeographic regions bringing together biodiversity. So ganyan. And then, it has over 1,000 islands. Kung nakapunta kayo Tawi-Tawi, nag-fly kayo from Zamboanga to Tawi-Tawi, so you can see so many islands, uninhabited islands. So napakarami. And I think those islands can serve as parang, supports unique community, fish communities, because they are somehow separated from each other by currents and by depth. And then, ito yung pinaka-interesting, no? As far as I'm concerned. Because the Sulu Sea, hindi mag-work yung pointer. But if you look at the Sulu Sea, familiar naman tayo lahat, there are like 4 main connections to the bigger seas outside. So dito sa may western side, it is connected to the South China Sea through the Mindoro Strait and the Balabac Strait sa two ends of Palawans. And then Palawan. And then sa Pacific Ocean through the Surigao Strait, no? Going to the northern Mindanao Bohol Sea. And then dito sa Sibutu Passage sa Tawi-Tawi. Now, if you look at the net direction of the currents, sa tatlong channels na yon, papasok lahat ang direction ng net direction ng current. But in Tawi-Tawi, palabas, it's going south. So we think that Tawi-Tawi serves as a sink, no? Sink of larvae ng mga galing dito sa taas, Palawan, and northern Philippines in general. So that's one of our theories. And then, relatively more pristine reefs because, Tawi-Tawi is medyo may issue with peace and order, no? Especially at night. May mga extortion pa rin yan. So therefore, hindi siya ganun ka-exploited. That serves parang default protection siya. And then in mainland Tawi-Tawi, it's infested with crocodiles, as in saltwater crocodiles. So yung mga fishers ay nandun sa mga islands, walang crocodiles doon. So therefore, ang Tawi-Tawi as a whole, yung mainland, parang it serves as malaking protected area kasi walang masyadong nangingisda doon. No? So yan yung some of our theories. But when we analyze our dive surveys based on known ecological benchmarks, so sa first, based on Nanola et al., yung high, very low na natin, lumabas na only 10% and considered very high. This is based on overall biomass. But good news is that walang very low, which is 5 metric tons and below per square kilometer. Now, based on the paper that we published in 2019, using only commercially important fishes, lumabas na parang 5% lang ang considered lightly fished, which is more than 50% of the BMMSY, yung biomass at maximum sustainable yield. And then, 19% fully fished, meaning nasa verge na siya ng overfishing. And unfortunately, 76% ay considered overfished na. So, comparing to the nationwide data, ito na yung na-publish namin in 2019, medyo comparable siya to the state of reef fishes within marine protected areas. No? Kasi dinivide namin yung condition between fished and protected areas. If you look at the state in fished areas, walang lightly fished, 0%, and 84% ay considered overexploited. Now, what's this slide tell us? That even in Tawi-Tawi, na I'm sure iniisip nyo na napakadaming fishes doon, na I'm sure iniisip nyo na excited kayo na ang gandang mag-dive doon, ang daming seafoods doon, that even there ay nagsho-show ng signs of overfishing. Not just small signs. This high figure, no? Yung 76% na overfish na yan. Now, and then when we talk about coral reefs, ang daming issues, di ba? If you've read that 2012 paper, we were in Australia then, no, during the ICRS, International Coral Reef Symposium, biglang nag-post sa New York Times yung opinion ni Ove, no, from Australia. Sabi niya, a world without coral reefs. Because parang sinasabi niya that in the future, coral reefs will eventually perish. Why? Because ang daming threats. Pollution alone, sabi niya, is enough to wipe out coral reefs. IUU fishing is enough to decimate coral reefs. Tapos may climate change pa. Sabi niya lahat yun nangyayari. So there's no really hope for coral reefs. So napaka-sad na na opinion commentary publication yon. But I think some of our current research all over the world show naman na if we protect, may hope, no? May hope. At nakikita sa mga figures, especially within marine protected areas. So now, this leads me to our research on small pelagics. Because kaya part of the question was, meron na bang napansin natin na nag-shift na yung mga tao from reef to pelagic? Kasi ako personally, medyo na-observe ko yon. Kasi in Tawi-Tawi before talagang puro reef fishes. Walang nagto-troll ng yung troll line ng mga tawag dito, mga pelagics. Sabi namin dati yung mga tuna, yung mga galunggong, pagkaing city yun eh. Kinakan City. Ibig sabihin, sa city lang namin nakakain yon sa Bonggao. Bonggao is the center, and Zamboanga. Pag doon sa islands, puro reef fishes. So ngayon, yung mga tulingan, yung mga, kalimutan ko yung mga Tagalog terms, yung mga mangko, bullet tuna, isa na yun sa mga common fishes na kinakain sa Tawi-Tawi. No? And, but then, I need to present, of course, yung science research, hindi yung kwento. Kaya I'm sharing with you our research on small pelagics, and may mga recommendation kami, I think, mag-trigger ito ng magandang discussion. So, ano lang yan, facts about small pelagics. Ang sardines alone, sabi niya, accounted for 15% of the total marine capture fisheries. So, by the way, this was funded by DOST Picard, no? It's a 2-year project on the catch monitoring ng sardines in Tawi-Tawi. May part 2 pa kami, pero inihintay pa namin yung release. So, this is a slide by Campos, no? Dito Sir Willie, showing the major fishing grounds of sardines. And one of the major fishing grounds is the Sulu Archipelago. So let me talk further about that. So in the Sulu Archipelago, there are 2 major fishing gears or fishing boats that catch sardines at small pelagics. Yung tinatawag naming kulibu or ring nets, yan yung local. Yung porcines, sabi nila, yan yung fishing boats. Yan yung galing Zamboanga, galing other areas. At punta kayo sa baba agad, yung landings niyan, yung kulibo, for local consumption lang talaga yan. Yung fresh, yung dried, ina-export. Pero yung sa porcines, diretso daw sa canning industry, at diretso sa Zamboanga. None of the porciners land in the Sulu Archipelago, Basilan, Sulu and Tawi-Tawi, except for 2, meron sa Basilan ngayon, 2, na own ng Now, yung size niya, both of them are commercial because we define commercial fishers as those using boats of 3 gross tons and above, di ba? So, pero yung kulibo is small-scale commercial siya kasi nasa 5 to 15 gross tons lang as compared to the porciners, mga 60 metric tons, considered siya, medium scale. And then technology, na fluorescent light pa nilagay ko dyan, hindi gumagamit ng super light yung kulibo. Yung traditional light pa rin LED generator. But yung fishing boats, mga super lights, may mga sonars. And then estimated, mga about 500 boats. Ang dami ng kulibo. Pero actually wala tayong data niyan. Hindi yan na monitor, no? Wala tayong data on that, sir. Kasi yung namomonitor sa Zamboanga, porciners lang eh. No. And estimate ng BFAR 9 yung source ng data, in 2022, there are already 122 porciners. So, describe ko further yung kulibo because this was the study. Ito yung typical operations niya. So, yun yung boat, yung landing niya sa Sulu. And then, yung sardines, especially in Sulu and Basilan, halos automatic dinadry yan. Because the market cannot absorb, cannot accommodate sardines. Ma-oversupply in terms of food, no? for example, in Tawi-Tawi, sabi nila, the market can only accommodate up to 40 banggera, tubs, at 35, 40 kilograms per tub. So beyond that, wala nang mamili kasi nakakain na lahat. So, therefore, if maraming huli, ang pinakaano talaga is for drying. So, kaya nakikita nyo yan. Tapos yan yung operations. Yan yung mga lights na ginagamit nila. No? But, ito yung mga, purbat, no? Yung mga fishing grounds, if you nakita nyo yung mga numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, up to 8, yan yung identified fishing grounds ng mga kulibo. And yung naka-buffer dyan, that's actually municipal waters. 15 kilometers from the shore. So, if you look at it, halos lahat nasa municipal waters. And, in reality, hindi lang kulibo nandyan. Pati yung mga porciners na yon, nandyan yan sila lahat. And ito yung actual na onboard monitoring na ginawa namin for 1 year for kulibo in Tawi-Tawi. So yan yung mga fishing grounds. Nasa loob talaga ng Tawi-Tawi Bay. Look, within 5 kilometers, nasa loob talaga siya. Nandoon sa ano. And then, yan. Yung sa baba, yan yung monthly operations kung saan sa Tawi-Tawi Bay and then sa parang it follows seasonality ng monsoonal seasonality, no? So, amihan, habagat. So, basically, according to them, yung fishes nandyan whole year. So, iniiwasan lang nila yung hangin. So, that's parang tells us also about the productivity of the Sulu Archipelago in terms of sardines and small pelagics. Kasi sa Zamboanga Peninsula, ano lang, di ba? Tawag dito, amihan, habagat. During amihan sila, may maraming fish. So, report ko lang catch rates. I won't discuss this much kasi the time. Titingnan nyo, average niya about 11 banggera container lang, no? Tapos, pero, this is based on actual monitoring data. Nag-onboard monitoring kami. So, 88 banggera ang highest for that 1 year that we monitored. And may zero. So again, dito papasok yung issue about income ng fishers. So imagine, may capital sila by the thousands. Tapos uwi sila, walang catch, as in zero. Tapos mga 11, 12 packs sila sa loob. So imagine that. So ito yung catch composition, Ambligaster serum, no? Yung tawag namin doon is kasig. Yan yung number 1 catch in terms of biomass, of course. No? Yung sa Zamboanga is, yung reported is lemuru. Yung Bali sardines, yung number 1. So yan yung seasonality rin niya, catch composition. Tapos in October, wala kaming, hindi nag-operate yung dalawang kulibo na minomonitor namin. Kaya no catches. And then we also found this spawning periodicity. Yan, and all. But I want to focus the discussion sa next slide. Etong kasi I'm sure mixed tayo hindi lang tayo mga fisheries scientists, may mga social scientists and all. And I admit, hindi naman ako talagang social scientist. So kaya I think this is a very interesting table to discuss. No? We analyze the data using the Sustainable Livelihood Framework, focusing on the capital assets. No? So, if you look at yung characteristics ng fishers sa human capital muna, so they have really low educational attainment. So that's the reality generally in Tawi-Tawi. Because maraming islands, walang college, walang high school, and in some, walang elementary even. Tapos financial capital, wala silang alternative livelihood, and sinasabi talaga nila na wala silang nare-receive from the government. Except sa may mga 4Ps naman, hindi naman talaga para sa kanila talaga yan. Na-intended as in for them. And then, they lack functional organization. Hindi sila organized as in. In fact, marami sa mga boats nila not even registered as fishing boats, no? So tapos natural capital, ang sinasabi ng declining fish stocks. So I think this is true sa lahat ng fisheries, no? Isa yan sa mga problems nila. But ang kagandahan naman ay napakalawak ng dagat ng Tawi-Tawi. So, ang lawak. And sabi ko nga, ng Sulu Archipelago in general, if you look at the entire area ng Sulu and Tawi-Tawi, kung i-circle mo, corner to corner ng mga islands, siguro mas malaki pa sa Mindanao area talaga or sa Visayas. Kasi mapun Turtle Island, ang layo na agad, no? So yun, ang lawak talaga. And then physical capital, limited ownership of fishing vessel and gear, ang mahal. Yung estimate nila, yung fishing boat nila, minimum of 1.5 million capital nila for the boat and the nets alone. Tapos, lack of post-harvest facilities. Saan yung market kanina? Lack of ownership and then lack of post-harvest facilities. So, wala silang cold storage, wala silang any post-harvest facilities except for drying talaga. And because of that, parang sort of naagrabyado sila. Because, ganito na lang, yung dried fish nila, they ship them to Pagadian. Doon yung mga buyers nila. But siniship na nila yung fish nila, wala pang agreed price. Wala pa. Pagdating doon, saka pa lang sabihin ng buyer, ganito yung bili ko nito. So walang choice yung mga fishers. Kasi hindi na nila pwede ibalik, masisira na yung fishes. Very short yung shelf life ng dried fish. And then, the characteristics of sardines, small pelagics, is very seasonal. So during high season, napakamura ng bili. And they cannot keep it for long because of mas spoil naman. So they're forced really to dispose. In fact, sa Tawi-Tawi, for example, you can buy as low as 100 pesos per 40 kilos banggera ng sardines. Minsan pinamimigay na lang, itatapon na lang. So, ganon ka laki ng post-harvest. May nagsabi na mga 40%, I think, baka abot ng 40% talaga yung post-harvest losses sa Tawi-Tawi. Tapos, in terms of vulnerability context niya, yung pinaka hina-highlight talaga nila is resource use, conflict with fishing boats, with commercial fishers. Pero, strictly speaking, they're also commercial fishers. But they really treat themselves as small scale. Isa sa mga sinasabi nila sa amin, because we did the surveys, we did the FGDs, is to address that problem with commercial fishers na nag-encroach to their traditional fishing grounds. Tapos sabi niya, absence of reliable market, yun na-mention ko na kanina. Security risk at sea, yung extortion, and then climate change. Yung alon, laki ng alon. When we did the surveys, let me share this with you kasi parang yun ang siguro may discussion natin. When we did the surveys, actually gusto nilang hingi ng tulong. But then I said, ang hirap for us. Kasi nagmamonitor kami. Kasi we know they're illegal. They're commercial. But they're fishing on municipal fishing waters. So, parang hirap na sabihin kasi pag alam ng maritime, huulihin talaga yan. No? So, tapos, ang challenge with them is that they cannot go out naman further. Because yung nasa labas ay mga pursigners, ang dami talaga doon. They cannot compete with them. The technology, the boats, wala. So doon lang talaga sila dapat sa traditional fishing grounds nila. I'm not sure. Ngayon, sabihin ko sa inyo, they even said that yung pagpasok ng commercial fishers to commercials, let's pretend na small scale sila. Yung commercial fishers to Sulu, to Dako, sinasabi nila, isa yun sa mga reasons ng rebellion. Nagrebelde, nag-abusef, and all. Because wala na silang mahuli. Even kung pupunta naman din sa livelihood strategies, yung iba pumunta na ng Sabah, pumunta na ng Tawi-Tawi because they were displaced by the ano. Tapos sinuhuli pa sila ng maritime minsan. Sa Tawi-Tawi, sa Sulu, Basilan, medyo hindi sila masyadong strict about that. So, ang laki ng challenges nila. And then, I asked them, sabi namin, pwede kayang liitan nyo na lang yung boat nyo? Kasi, liitan na lang ang boat para tayo doon sa commercial boats na yun. Sabi niya na, sir, hindi kami nagpalaki ng boat para dumami yung catch, para marami catch namin. Imagine, sabi niya, nagfi-fish gabi-gabi. Pag lumakas ang hangin, anong mangyayari sa amin? Di ba? So we need bigger boats for safety more than the catch. Kaya actually, yun ang sinasabi ko. This paper is already published. Kaya we came up with these recommendations actually. Yung mga highlighted na lang para hindi mahaba. Sabi ng Kulibu fishers who are essentially small-scale fishers with the exceptions of their boat size exceeding 3 gross tons. Tapos, to mitigate challenges, consider an adjustment of the vessel size limit allowed to fish within the municipal waters from 3 to 10 gross tons. But we emphasize na special ito for Kulibu because that's traditional. No? That's traditional and wala silang alternative livelihood in that area. And then sabi namin, furthermore, the increase in vessel size aligns with safety considerations, especially given that Kulibu fishers operate at night in open seas, where they face heightened risks exacerbated by the anticipated impacts of climate change. Tapos sabi namin, this initiative would also enhance their safety against piracy and extortion, as they can now openly communicate with law enforcement authorities. So yan yung yan ang isa sa mga challenges ng mga fishers. I believe na hindi talaga pwede liitan yung boat ng Kulibu fishers. We have to give up that Kulibu talaga if we are to be very strict with that vessel size limitations. So I think I'll end up here and leave you with the message that kinompose kagabi. That in an ideal world, we all dream of abundant fisheries and pristine marine ecosystems. Yet, widespread poverty in coastal communities, irresponsible coastal development, and the growing threat of climate change make that dream seem increasingly distant. So, in places like the Sulu Archipelago, where dependence on the sea is high and enforcement is weak, successful fisheries management cannot come from regulations alone. We must win the trust of the people, make them partners, not adversaries, stewards of the sea, not threats to it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ma'am Araneza Diensoy, and of course to Dr. Richard N. Molil for anchoring your session on knowledge and empathy, both essential pillars of sustainable development. With that, we would like to express our deepest gratitude with a plaque of appreciation. To assist in the giving of the plaque of appreciation, calling on the Vice President for Research and Extension of the Mindanao State University System, Dr. Glenn A. Lorenzo. Allow me to read the citation of the plaque of appreciation. Given this 23rd day of October 2025 at International Convention Center, Mindanao State University Main Campus, Marawi City. In grateful appreciation of her distinguished presence as during the Second Philippines Small-Scale Fisheries National Symposium with the theme From Recognition to Action, Advancing Sustainable Small-Scale Fisheries in the Philippines on 21 to 23 October 2025. This plaque of appreciation is presented to Professor Araneza M. Diensoy. A hand, please. The same plaque of appreciation is presented to Dr. Richard N. Molel. A hand, please. Once again, thank you very much, Ma'am Aranesa, and of course, Dr. Richard, for anchoring your session on knowledge and empathy, both essential pillars of sustainable development. At this moment of time, we continue with another special session featuring Too Big to Ignore and partners. Let us all welcome the Executive Director of Too Big to Ignore Philippines, Dr. Alice Joan G. Ferrer. A hand, please.
Good morning, everyone. This is the last session of this symposium before we have the closing ceremony. So this is the impacts of the proposed amendments to the Philippine Fisheries Code. We will have two presentations, and then we encourage everyone to participate during the Q&A, and then we will be presenting to you the same statement that we had during the first symposium in Iloilo City last year. Okay. I'd like to read this, and I hope you get the reason why we are having this session. The Philippine Fisheries Code of 1998 was amended by Republic Act 10654 in 2015 to address illegal, unreported, and unregulated fishing, incorporating key provisions to enhance monitoring, control, and surveillance through the vessel monitoring system, increased fines and penalties to deter illegal fishing, and the implementation of science-based fisheries management through the fisheries management areas. 10 years after RA 10654 came into law, the Philippines is still faced with prevalent IUU fishing violations, and prominent among these violations is the illegal entry of commercial fishing vessels in municipal waters. The Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources in 2023 started conducting consultations to propose amendments to the Fisheries Code, particularly in the definition of municipal waters. Their proposal, which is also reflected in the bill filed by Senator Amy Marcos, this is SB 432, would effectively eradicate municipal waters by allowing commercial fishing based on depth, 20 fathoms, which would allow more fishing pressure on our already overexploited fish stocks. Most are already in the red. In the recent pronouncement by Secretary Laurel of the Department of Agriculture, he even mentioned that fish that are not caught by in municipal waters would just die off and does not contribute to food security. This statement coming from him is very disconcerting and runs against the principle of sustainable and scientific-based fisheries management. Let's watch this video.
Nire-revise namin to its finer and then isa-submit na ulit namin to OP, no? While we are saying na science-based to, na pwedeng pumasok ang commercial kung ang depth of the fishing ground is more than 20 fathoms. But only with the approval of the LGU and its sanggunian through an ordinance. Kasi hindi naman pwede naman, well, I've been a fisherman for 38 years, no? And I know na yung ibang area dyan na munisipyo na may kantilado naman yung dagat at pwedeng yung municipal hindi rin naman actually makakahuli. Mamamatay na lang dun yung isda sa tanda dahil nga based on the existing law. But kung depth-based yan, it's already scientifically proven na anything over 20 fathoms, hindi na mahuhuli ng artisanal and livelihood fishermen ang isda dun sa more than 20 meters. So, pwede dapat pumasok dyan ang commercial para hindi naman masayang yung stocks, no, sa area. But only if the LGU allows, or I can prove without a doubt na may mga isda sa mga ibang area dyan na hindi nahuhuli talaga ng ating mga local fishermen through sonar readings and depth bathymetric surveys na ako mismo nakakita over the years. Yeah. Let's say, look at sa Palawan, sa Rafton area dyan. Ang lalim ng burot dyan na red tail, nasa 90 fathoms ang lalim. Na hindi, within 15 kilometers, ang raming stock hindi nahuhuli. So, ang dalawa ho mission ko dito Ang mission ko is to protect the small fisherman. Malinaw ho, talagang camping-campi ako sa inyo dyan pagdating sa local fisherman. Kung kaya lang hulihin, dapat kanila lang yun. Wala dapat commercial dyan. I think I just want to state that clear. But there's also a problem, my problem of food security. Na I have to be objective enough na kung meron kami nakikitang stocks na pwedeng hulihin through other fishing gears, so like a mid-water trolling na sinasabi, lalo na dito sa Benham Rice na untap natin, that baka pumasok sa may munisipyo, somebody's munisipyo yan, kailangan din natin ma-seize yung yun. Kung sakaling yung local fisherman na makinabang dyan, well and good, no? Pero kung hindi, then we have to allow para mabawasan din yung importation natin. But I really totally agree that priority natin.
Okay, so this session will tackle the
another update, yung
this session will tackle the likely impacts of the proposed amendments to the Philippine Fisheries Code. As mentioned already, there's already an existing draft. So we have two presentations. The first presentation will be given to us by Mr. Danny Ocampo. And the next presentation, Sir Danny is from Oceana, Philippines. And then the second presentation will be given to us by Dr. Wilfredo Campos, retired professor from the university, UP scientist also. Can I request Danny now to, where is Danny? Can please take the floor.
Thank you, Doc Alice. Magandang umaga po sa lahat. Thank you for having us here. I'd like to thank the Marawi State University for hosting this symposium. I think I saw Chancellor here. Magandang umaga po. Anyway, I'm Danny Ocampo. I'm from Oceana. We're an international NGO working for marine conservation and fisheries. And I'd like to present us yung context po on why we are discussing the proposed amendments to the Fisheries Code. Ayaw. Up, down. Down ba? Anyway, I'd like to add rin po na what we saw on the screen earlier that was mentioned by Secretary Laurel had its beginnings in 2023 when our government was actually conducting mga consultations nationwide on the proposed amendments of the bill. So just to contextualize po, we have to see how big our maritime domain is. Our land is actually only a seventh of our maritime domain na 2.2 million square kilometers. And what's being contested now is the municipal waters, which is about 300 to 310 square kilometers ang area. And if we look at the value of this quite a small area ng ating maritime domain, we have always highlighted the importance of this municipal for having all the ecosystems na nagsusupport sa fisheries. And as mentioned earlier in the introduction by Doc Alice, we had to amend our fisheries code in 2015, mainly because we were slapped with a yellow card by the EU because of our country's failure to address illegal, unreported, and unregulated fishing. That time, the EU first issued a warning to the Philippines that if we get issued a yellow card, we have to have reforms in the way we manage our fisheries. And in response to that, inamend po yung batas natin, naging from RA 8550, naging RA 10654 to address, prevent, deter, and eliminate illegal, unreported, and unregulated fishing. And may mga key features po yung batas na yon. And the key features include addressing or eliminating IUU fishing. Dapat ang fisheries is ecosystems-based. And then through the ecosystems-based approach to fisheries management, there will be harvest controls and reference points. And of course, yung napakahalaga pong monitoring, control, and surveillance using vessel monitoring measures. And of course, increasing the fines. Kasi dati po, ang liliit ng fines, for the violators, it's easier for them na magbayad kesa sumunod sa batas. That's why the Fisheries Code of RA 10654 increased the penalties. So this is the 15 kilometers po na kino-contest from the way we see it. Ang ating bansa ay archipelago, kantilado. So when you look at our coastal areas, ang hirap isipin na ang pagpapatupad ng batas sa pagbabawal ng ilang paraan ng pangingisda will be based on depth, di ba? Parang mas madali kung distansya kasi makikita mo. Pero yung depth, I was talking to some members of the Philippine Coast Guard. Kung lalim ang pag-uusapan, paano nila ma-ascertain if a vessel is at 20 fathoms deeper or not? And so we go through yung features po. Bibilisan ko na lang ng kaunti. As mentioned earlier also, when the Fisheries Code was amended, kailangang i-address yung IUU fishing. And the law was passed in 2015. This is a survey or a study done by BFAR and USAID. Sadly, hindi pa rin talaga na-prevent or na-deter or na-eliminate ang IUU fishing. In fact, as mentioned earlier as well, commercial fishing in municipal waters ranks the highest problem amongst the violations being committed by commercial fishing vessels in the Philippines. And if you look at yung losses naman natin, for Palawan alone in 2023, we're looking at 37,000 metric tons of fish na nahuli ng mga commercial fishing vessels in municipal waters of the 19 or 19 out of the 24 LGUs na pinag-aralan nung survey na yon nung 2023. And those are the LGUs which participated in this study by BFAR. They used yung iFit tool for actually baselining illegal, unreported, and unregulated fishing. And if you look at detections being done by the VIIRS satellite, or yung VIIRS Visible Infrared Imaging Radiometer Suite, and being shared by Oceana through Karagatan Patrol, ang dami pa ring detections, whether in our national waters, whether it's on our contested West Philippine Sea, or even in municipal waters, ang dami pa rin. So if you look at the law that we have now, bakit hindi na-address yung IUUF when it was actually amended to address that? So in terms of yung isang feature pa na magkaroon tayo ng ecosystems approach to fisheries management, the 12 fisheries management areas were established in 2018 through FAO number 263. And the goal really is to have science-based, participatory, and transparent governance, and also to fix yung problema natin sa fisheries, which was declining. And I won't read that slide, but you have an idea, of course, why we had to have the FMAs looking at fish stocks and so on. And Oceana actually created a scorecard on how effective or how the implementation of FAO 263 was progressing. Through the 3 years we were monitoring from 2020 to 2021 to 2022, mabagal yung progress. And for those who are members of the scientific advisory groups of the FMAs, hanggang ngayon, most of them have not really approved pa. Tama, Doc Willie? Yung mga harvest control measures, hindi pa rin na-approve, hindi pa rin na pagkakasunduan. I think in FMA 5, it was rejected largely because of the opposition of the commercial fishing representative in the FMA 5 scientific advisory group. So nakakalungkot, after more than 10 years, we're still stuck with our predicament sa fisheries natin. It's still declining from like 10 or 20 years ago. And in some areas, as I said, ito yung harvest control measures. Ang tagal, hindi pa rin nila ma-approve. Some of the measures that were being considered is yung pagkakaroon ng moratorium on issuance of new licenses, non-renewal of fishing vessels, gear restriction, and of course, yung strict enforcement of the laws governing or addressing IUUF. And isa pang key feature ng law natin is yung vessel monitoring measures for monitoring, control, and surveillance. For the longest time, this has been resisted by the commercial fishing industry kasi sabi nila, ayaw na talaga nilang ma-discover yung kanilang trade secret, yung mga lugar. They even said this is a violation of their privacy, yung kanilang mga trade secrets or yung areas na nangingisda. That's why they opposed this. They even went to court and filed a lawsuit and won sa Malabon Regional Trial Court. But the case is still pending in the Supreme Court. Sorry, ayaw. Ayan. According to BFAR also, in 2024, August, last year, they have installed 90% of vessels, commercial fishing vessels, capture, kasi yun yung nasa batas, yung capture vessels lang. So 3,077, they have installed more than 2,700 transponders on vessels. And it appears like it's a good news, di ba? Parang 90% ng catcher vessels na nakikita na monitor na dapat ng BFAR. But you also have to look deeper kung after installation, ano ba nangyayari? Is BFAR really monitoring? Do the transponders really work? So we interviewed some commercial fishing operators who have vessel monitoring systems installed by BFAR. Ang dami pong problema. Una, sabi nila, walang dedicated power supply. So most of the time, when they leave port and stay for a few days, namamatay na yung transponder. Second, it drains the power supply of their vessel. So parang sa kanila, papatayin ko na lang. Kasi mawawalan ako ng ng kuryente or power supply for my other safety measures like radio, etc. And that alone is a violation according to Section 119. Dapat po tamper-proof. Pero obviously, hindi tamper-proof yung na-issue sa kanilang mga VMS. And of course, yung turnover daw po was sometimes haphazard. They were not trained properly to understand how to use, for example, yung electronic reporting system that could help gather data on their catches and so on. And yung sa access for other vessels na malaman po if there's an emergency and so on, wala rin. And they suspect daw na baka daw nasisilip ng ibang mga countries who are poaching in our waters kasi minsan daw papunta pa lang sila sa fishing area sa West Philippine Sea. Their primary fishing ground is the West Philippine Sea. Pagpunta nila doon, biglang meron ng ibang vessels na nandun para harangin sila or inuunahan silang mangisda. And yeah, most of you have seen this slide pa rin. Parang after 10 years of the Fisheries Code, ito pa rin yung sitwasyon. Our fish capture fisheries is still declining. And I'd like to share a few things from on the proposed amendments. We reviewed the current bills that are in Congress. The bill filed by Senator Amy Marcos is for the amendment of the Fisheries Code. There are several provisions there, some of which I will discuss later. Si Representative Rufus Rodriguez filed House Bill 2160 extending the municipal waters to an additional buffer zone of 15. Nung nakausap po namin siya, ang sabi niya kasi, kahit naman bawal sa batas, pinapasok ng commercial yung 15 kilometers. So palayuin mo na lang sila para kung pumasok sila, wala sila doon sa municipal waters, nandun sila sa buffer. So yun po yung parang sinasabi niya nung nakausap namin. And then, Senator Lauren Legarda filed a bill, SB 522, for declaring the 15-kilometer municipal waters as exclusively reserved for municipal fisher folk. Ito po yung Municipal Fisher Folk Protection Act ni Senator Legarda. And then recently, if you've seen it on the news, the Makabayan block led by Representative Reneco, na they're also filing the Atin ng 15 bill, which is for the exclusive rights for small fishers over municipal waters. So just to briefly go through some of the provisions that will affect small-scale fisher folk in the proposed bills, ito po yung nakita naming difference. Sa bill po ni Senator Amy Marcos, tinanggal po niya yung definition ng municipal waters by distance. Basically, what the bill will do is allow commercial fishing in municipal waters as long as the depth is 20 meters. But yung sa section naman po on commercial fishing in municipal waters, she also emphasized that in areas where there are critical habitats, including spawning areas as declared by the department and other relevant agencies, hindi pwedeng payagan. So dito po magandang tingnan ito ng mga scientists how that can be answered po pag umabot yan sa hearings na. And then meron din po dito na any methods used that are determined to be consistent with national policies set by the department. Ito po yung sa gears. Meron pong further definition dito na ang sinasabi is hindi na po bawal ang active gear sa municipal waters. Ang tawag na nila is authorized gear. So that's also going to be one big fight. Kasi kung i-authorize nila yung trawling sa municipal waters, then we're doomed. Parang binawal mo na nga sa loob yan ng municipal waters, papayagan mo ulit. Next po is in definition of super lights. Hindi na po siya bawal in municipal waters. They will allow it, but it will be regulated according to certain standards that will be set by the department. And it will be allowed. Share ko lang po, recently, there was a complaint filed in Nasugbu na yung light boats ng Mercedar Fishing Corporation were actually within their municipal waters, and it was actually attracting fish even from as close as 5 kilometers from shore kasi yung light boats nila umaandar. So this is really another dangerous thing pagdating sa ating municipal waters because you will allow stronger lights to enter municipal waters. And from the BFAR naman side po, ito yung medyo mas nakakabahala din kasi hindi lang po 20 fathoms yung pinag-usapan, hindi na may, but shall. If you look at the wording po, yung local governments may allow. In the proposed amendments that were presented to us during the hearings in 2023, they mentioned that it should be shall. Local governments shall allow commercial fishing. Hindi na po may. There's no option. Parang kailangan gawin. And then, just to show you yung statistics po on how commercial fishing in municipal waters with depths deeper than 20 fathoms will look like, 76.4% po ng 675 coastal municipalities, or more than 50% of their municipalities, ay mas malalim sa 20 fathoms. Kaunti lang po yung mas mababaw. Alam naman po natin kantilado or steep yung ating mga coastal areas. And yung depth range ng 0 to 20, 23.7% lang yun. And that means 76% mas malalim talaga. Yung 320 coastal municipalities po natin ay mas makikita natin na over 90% of their municipal waters are greater yung depth nila sa 20 fathoms. So effectively, wala na silang municipal waters. The commercial boats can actually come as close as they can to shore because the depths of their shoreline is deeper than 20. And if you look at FMA 9, 93.4% of the municipal waters are below or deeper than 20 fathoms. And the provinces of Camiguin, Siquijor, Batanes, Misamis Oriental, Agusan del Norte, Antique, and Southern Leyte, they will only be left with 5% municipal waters. And that is where we would actually like to call your attention to kasi saan na pupunta yung mga malilit na mangingisda natin para mangisda. And just to show you po yung from the map, this is actually taken from Karagatan Patrol. If you can access Karagatan Patrol, the web app, and look at yung bathymetry natin. And the blue areas are the waters shallower than 7 fathoms. The blue outlines are the municipal waters. But if you look at the yellow areas, yan yung waters that are deeper than 20 fathoms. So relatively, most of our provinces, most of our LGUs are really losing big areas pagdating sa ating municipal waters. And that's really something that we have to really talk about and what we can do about it. So kami po sa Oceana, we launched this campaign last year kasi kailangan i-gather yung lahat tayo na stakeholders, even consumers, even those in doing tourism activities kasi the 15-kilometer zone is hindi lang naman po sa mga mangingisda yan, sa atin pong lahat. At kailangan po mag-usap tayo kung paano tayo magtutulungan para sa atin ng 15. And these are our partner fisher folk na nag-conduct ng isang ng online protest calling for no to amendments and protecting municipal waters kasi sa kanila yung 15. That's my last slide. Thank you very much and good morning.
Magandang umaga po sa inyo lahat. Malapit na magtanghali. Okay. Ito yung title ko is Commercial Fishing in Municipal Waters Sustainable? Facts on the Viability of Resource Stock. So, yung mga slides ko, some of them, I framed them in questions that were already touched upon by Danny, no, in earlier presentation. Okay, so we know that fisheries is an important part of our economy. And on the right, I'm showing the historical, no, production from capture fisheries, no. Yung black line sa taas, yan yung total, no, municipal and commercial catches, no. And what I want to point out is from 2010, continuous and decrease, no, for the past 14 years, 15 years, no. And the decrease amounts to about 56,000 metric tons per year. So over the past 14 years, meron tayong loss of about 787,000 metric tons of fish compared to what we were catching in 2010. No? So that alone tells us that something is wrong already with our stocks. No? They're not as viable and productive as they are. In fact, information provided by the National Stock Assessment Program, no? Covering the entire country, as well as other studies, no, from the academe, show that from 60 to 89% of the most common fish stocks, no, are overfished in many of our fishing grounds. No? Ganun ka-extensive. No? So there's a lot of evidence, no, a lot of factual evidence to show this. No? Hindi ko na dadaanan yun. No? The map shows what Danny also showed, no, a better map, showing the extent of the municipal waters, no, 15 kilometers from the shore, the pink areas, no. Okay, and it represents a small area actually of the total water area of the Philippines, no. And there is a lot of, because of the declining catches, no, for both commercial and municipal, no. May malaki ang pressure, no, ang lobby to amend, no, to amend the code specifically to allow commercial vessels to fish closer to the shore, no, and they have the lobby, no, that is putting pressure on Congress to amend this particular provision is based on two major arguments, no, or premises, no, and I wish to show some facts, no, based on data, and I will show you the data in the form of graphs, no. So hindi lang salita na science-based ito, no. I will show you the data, no, to address the first that stocks in municipal waters are underfished. Pag underfished, ibig sabihin, pwede pa talaga silang isdain. They're still very healthy, no. And related to this, no, is that sabi ni Secretary Laurel, no, marami pang isda actually sa mababaw na lugar, no? Okay? And kasi hindi nauubos, pwedeng kunin ng commercial fisheries, no? Dahil kung hindi, mamamatay lang sila ng old age. Okay? So we will try to tackle those and show, no? The second is that municipal fishers do not maximize the 15 kilometers of the municipal waters kasi maliliit daw ang vessel nila, hindi daw nila kaya, no? So we will show some information that will shed light on that, no? Okay. Una-una, no, we'll try to answer the question why we should not catch all the fish, no? Okay, so dapat may natitira, no? So this is a stock recruitment curve. Dito sa baba, we're showing stock abundance, no, which reflects the spawner biomass. Dito sa y-axis, yung mga baby fish. Ito yung mga recruits, no? So obviously, no, pag mataas ang stock abundance mo, no, yung spawner biomass, they can produce a lot of eggs, a lot of larvae, mataas ang recruitment, mataas ang stock abundance year after year. Okay? So, if that stock is subjected to heavy fishing pressure, no, with time, no, bababa yung stock abundance mo. Natural lang naman yun, babawasan eh. No? Okay? So, when your stock biomass, determining your spawner biomass, is lower, then the recruitment is also lower. No? So, ang resulting recruitment every year is lower, so the stock is not as healthy as it used to be. No? And this is what happens when you overfish stocks. No? pababa ang abundance kasi pababa yung capacity niya to produce recruits, no? Now, there is a minimum spawner abundance, no, which we call B sub min, dito sa baba, no? Okay? Below which, no, the stock can no longer produce enough recruits, no, to sustain any kind of fishery, any level, whether it's commercial or municipal. In other words, pag bumaba yung spawner biomass below B sub min, no, okay, collapse is imminent. Pag nag-collapse yan, ibig sabihin wala na tayong mahuhuli, commercial, municipal, wala tayong sardinas, wala tayong galunggong, wala tayong isda. Lahat talo. Okay? So, there is enough evidence, no, to show that many of our stocks are already overfished. No? But this question here is, again, no, related to maraming isda daw sa sa munisipyo, no, in municipal waters, no. So overfishing affects the entire stock and not just portions of it, no. So ang claim nila is overfish na yung stock sa labas kung saan sila nangingisda, no. Sa loob hindi kasi may naiiwan pa, no. So that doesn't make any biological sense at all. No, and I will show, no, because this is the life cycle of a typical small pelagic fish, no. Okay? Ganito rin po ang life cycle ng mga alimasag, ng shrimp, no? Although the extent of their movement, of the different life stages, no, is different, no? But here, no, we have the adults, no, spawning your eggs, and then after a few days, the eggs hatch into larvae. And during that time, they are carried by water currents closer to the coast, no, where food is abundant, no? So when the larvae are, as they are drifted towards the coast, no, they grow, of course, to become very young juveniles, no? And eventually, they feed for several weeks to a few months, no, close to the coast, and then they may move further away, no, okay, disperse until they become adults, no. Again, the cycle is repeats itself, no. So importante na ma-complete itong life cycle, no, para ma-sustain yung population, yung stocks mo every year, no? Okay? So that kung heavy masyado ang fishing mo dito malapit sa coast, no, you reduce the number of juveniles, and eventually you will reduce the number of fish that will become adults kasi nauubos mo yung juveniles, no? So pag nakumonti yung adults mo, kukunti din yung recruits mo. Okay? On the other hand, if you have heavy fishing outside and you get too many adult fish, ganun din ang mangyayari. Okay? So if you have heavy fishing from both sides, then you will have a stock that will show problems, no? Okay? So that there is no such thing as a shared stock of the same species being overfished in one area and not overfished in another area, no, which is within its life cycle, no? So that unsustainable fishing anywhere or in any stage of the life cycle of a stock, no, will lead to overfishing of the entire stock, no? Okay? So mali yung premise na sinasabi na overfish sa labas, underfish sa loob. Okay? Next, sabi niya, namamatay ng old age, no? So how old are sardines? Sardines ang ginagamit kong expression kasi yun yung example kasi nung pinag-aralan namin, no? The lifespan of sardines, no, they're short-lived, no? So they can live up to 4 or 5 years sa Australia. Dito sa atin, our best guess is about 2 to 3 years, ang normal na lifespan, no? Okay? So ito yung, on what I'm showing here sa baba is the green bars represent the size distribution of sardines, no, that are caught, no, in the Zamboanga Peninsula all the way to the Sulu Archipelago, to Tawi-Tawi, no? And this is in standard length, no? So the largest size, no, which is probably also the older fishes, no, is about 14 to 15 centimeters standard length, no? Ang total length nito would be about 17, no? 17 to 18, no? Standard length, no? And this includes catches from both the commercial fleet and the municipal fleet, no? Okay? So, we looked at the ages. Tinignan namin yung otolith, or ear bone, no? Because they have rings, no? Daily rings, which correspond very closely to your age, no? So that here what I'm showing is the age based on otolith rings, no? On the bottom, no, of fish of different sizes, no? Okay? And then the colored dashes represent sardines that were sampled from the north and those from the southern part of the study area, no? Okay? But the largest fish that we analyzed, no, and determined the age for, no, with a corresponding age of about close to 225 days, no? Okay? Represents the size class of about 15, which is the maximum size range of the range, no, that is covered by, which are caught, no, by the commercial fleet and the municipal fleet, no? So in other words, walang 2-year-old fish. In fact, halos walang 1-year-old fish, no? Okay? So there are no fish greater than 1-year-old. That's a conservative, statement or conclusion, no? Meaning that the fish are caught too fast to allow them to live out fully their lifespan, no? Rather natin siya bilang bibilis, no, nahuhuli, no? So this makes the stock very vulnerable to environmental fluctuations, no? Considering their lifespan of 2 to 3 years, no, less than 1 year is not old at all. So how can they die of old age? Okay? So this is data, hindi hearsay. Okay? So the first question, which the other things will also contribute to, is that are stocks in municipal waters underfished? Ano ba talaga ang status ng stocks natin sa municipal waters? No? So ang NSAP, as I mentioned, already shows a lot of information for many of our fishing grounds. So, hindi ko na ulitin yun. No? So ito, papakita ko lang dito ang catch rates. No? Ito yung catch per trip ng different gear types. No? Okay? Dito, for the Visayan Sea, covering the period 2018 to 22, for different gear types. Ito, encircling gillnet sa Bantayan, Cebu. No? The green bars show the monthly catch per trip. No? Okay, from 2018, the rightmost side, in 2021 to 2022 on the right side most part of the graph. No? So we see a slight decrease in the catch rates. No? The black line is fishing effort. So even effort, no, adjust. Kasi kung wala na nahuhuli, hindi na sila lumalabas. No? So there's a decrease both in catch and effort. No? Okay? In Milagros, Masbate, no? Ganun din, makikita from the same time frame, no? 2018 up to 2021-22, bumabaksak ang catch rates. Okay? And this is for drift gill nets. No? Okay? For Concepcion, Iloilo, we have data going to 2016, no? To 2022. And although meron pa nahuhuli dito sa 2022, no? Makikita natin, obviously, there is a change. No? Nagde-decrease din. Over a period of 5, 6, 7 years. No? Okay? So this does not show that, that the stocks are healthy. In fact, it shows the other way around. No? That stocks showing an overall decrease, no, are consistent with being overfished. No? Okay. So let's look at yung inner Bicol waters, no? From Burias, Ticaupas, and San Bernardino. No? And I'm showing here catch rates of drift gill nets, no? From 2016, yung blue. And then yung red is for 2020, a period of 4 years lang. No? Okay? So the difference in catch rates, especially for the months, peak months of abundance, no, and spawning, no? From October to December, to January, I'm sorry. No? Okay? Malaki ang difference, no? In 2020, the catches were only around 600 kilograms per trip. Nasa mga 2,000 noong 2016. No? So there's a 2.4-fold difference. No? Malaki. No? So this high variability is indicative of very unstable stocks already. No? Consistent with them being overfished. No? Okay, dalawang area na yon. So let's look at a somewhat longer time frame, no? Between decades, no? Dito sa northern Zamboanga, no? Okay, so here I'm showing catches, monthly catch rates, yung green for the period 2012 to 2014, no? Okay. And then on the right side of each graph are for more recent years, no? 2023 to 2024. So makita natin for hook and line in Dipolog and encircling gillnet in Dapitan, malaki ang difference, no? Ng catch rates. May decrease talaga ang catch rates, no? between the 2 decades. No? Again, showing instability of stocks, no? With that large change in catch rates. No? Okay. Further south, in the middle of Zamboanga Peninsula, we're looking sa Labason, simple handline, again, for 2012-2013 versus 22 to 23, malaki ang difference. No? Ganun din sa subsurface gillnets. No? Okay? Malaki ang difference. Okay? And then for Sindangan, ganun din, no? Very, very big difference, no? Between catch rates in the past 2 decades, no? Okay? Again, indicative that stocks are overfished. Okay. So this is a longer time frame, no, of catches of ringnets, no, small commercial ringnets nito from Dipolog, no, starting from 2008, yung leftmost side, up to about 2024. No? So may gap tayo ng 6 years. No? And let's just focus on the areas highlighted by the yellow rectangles. No? Ito yung peak months of abundance between March to July. No? Peak months of highest catch rates. No? And we see from 2008 to 2016, no? The highest catch rates occur during this period. At saka, there are continuous catches during this period. No? If we look at the 2022-2023 catches, for the same period, no, maliit yung catch rates, at saka merong months na walang nahuhuli. No? At least for 2023, 2022, 2024. No? Okay? So may mga months na zero. No? Okay? So that the reduced availability, no, and the reduced abundance are very strong indicators of overfish stocks. Okay? So, and these are mostly from the 0 to 15 kilometer catches from that area. No? Okay. So the second question now is, do municipal fishers maximize use of their fishing grounds? No. So what we did, in different areas is we deployed GPS trackers, that record the coordinates of the vessel every 2 minutes. No? So pagka pinlat mo yan, there will be several records covering an hour or even more. The time that they're retrieving their nets, no? Doon namin sinicircle kung saan sila ng isda. No? And what I'm showing here, the green polygons represent the areas where surface gill nets, were operating, in February 2023 and in May 2023. No? Ito na pinapakita ko, pero each month meron kami. No? And then on the right-hand side of the topmost map is the scale for 10 kilometers. Okay? So that makita natin sa February, mga 10 kilometers from the coast. No? Yung operations nila for that month pa lang. No? Okay? For May, umaabot sila ng more than 10, 15 kilometers. No? Okay? For the rest of the year, they cover well, the 10 to 15. No? And these are surface gill nets with 1 to 4 fishers sa crew. So clearly, maliliit na boats ito. Municipal talaga ito. No? Okay? So they do maximize, the use of municipal waters. No? In the Visayan Sea, it's the same thing. No? Medyo color-coded lang in 2018, 2020, 2021. And yung sa Masbate, they're well within 10 kilometers from the coast, no? Okay, of fishing operations. And these are mostly gill nets, drift gill nets. Ang crew nila, 6 to 9, no? Which is bordering small commercial, no? Okay? But meron sa Bantayan, 2 people lang ito, no? Sa Bantayan, no? Ito yung green, no? They're well within, umaabot sila ng 15 kilometers from the coast. Okay? And these are small vessels, no? Okay, so that also in the Visayan Sea, fishers maximize use of municipal waters. No? So Zamboanga, kantilado yan, compared to the Visayan Sea. No? Ang Visayan Sea, medyo mababaw yan. No? Average depth is between mga 15 meters or a little less. No? There's a portion in the middle that is over 50 meters. No? But most of it is below 20 meters. No? So mababaw lang. Okay? Ito sa Bicol, no? These are drift gill net, small commercial drift gill nets, based in Bulan, Sorsogon. No? And the color-coded polygons represent the areas where they fish each month, no, over a one-year period, no? Okay, from 2020 to 21. So, bulan ang base nila, umaabot sila ng Burias Pass, that's 70 kilometers, no? Although, from coast to coast, less than 30, less than ano lang yan, mga 20 kilometers lang, but they can move, in other words, no? Further north and further south to the San Bernardino island group, no? Okay? So that they also maximize use of the municipal waters, no? Okay? So, to answer the questions, no? The assumptions, no? Okay? Do municipal fishers maximize use of fishing grounds? Very clearly, yes, no? At least in the three areas that we're looking at, these are all sardine fishing grounds, no? In the many fishing grounds, hindi naman sardinas yung tinatarget nila, hindi galunggong. There is no need to go out that far, no? So obviously, they don't, no? But in these areas, they do, no? And this covers large fishing grounds, no? Second is, are stocks in municipal waters underfished? Clearly, they are not, no? Okay? And the entire stock is overfished, no? Biologically, ano yun, untenable na sinasabi na overfished lang yung sa labas, yung sa loob hindi. It doesn't make sense at all, no? Okay? So, next, are remaining uncaught fish in municipal waters? Marami pa daw hindi nahuhuli yung mga lilit na mga isda, no? Are they a waste and should they be caught, no? To maintain food security, no? Okay? Nakita natin na yung spawner recruitment, ano natin, no? Including their ages, no? Very clearly, no, because they should be caught, they should not be caught to allow the stock to recover. So yung sinasabi nila na marami pang hindi nahuhuli sa municipal waters, yun po ang nagsusustain ng stocks na sine-exploit ng both commercial and municipal. Pag pinapasok natin at hulihin yung mga natitira na yon, no, wala nang natira na magsuspond sa stocks natin. Okay, that's the entire idea of protecting the 15 kilometers from large volume catches, no? That's the entire idea. No? Okay? So, finally, no? In other words, no, there should be no additional fishing effort to catch more fish. Kung ano yung natitira doon, wag na natin bawasan yun. Kasi in fact, dapat nga mas bawasan pa natin ng fishing effort para mas dumami pa yung stock abundance. No? Okay? So, finally, I just want to show a few slides, no? Showing the consequences of allowing commercial fishing in municipal waters. No? Okay? So I already showed this graph showing, of course, that the status of capture fisheries in the country. No? Hindi na aakyat yan. No? Pababa na yan. No? The thing is, we need to arrest that further decline para mag-plateau na siya. Hindi na siya, doesn't get worse. No? Okay? So, if we use a pie, no, as an analogy, no? Okay? Ang total capture fisheries production natin ay parang isang buko pa yan. Di ba? Hindi na siya lalaki kahit ano gawin mo. Kasi pababa na talagang huli. No? Liliit pa siguro. No? So assuming at the very best is hindi na siya lumalaki. No? Okay? So that ito yung status ko, no? Kung si Frank ito nahuhuli, no? Okay? Yung isang portion na yun, kay Dodoy. Di ba? Maliit. Mas maliit na konti. No? Okay? Ngayon, pag lumaki yung huli ni Frank, lumaki yung piece of the pie na nakukuha niya, siyempre, yung piece of the pie ni Dodoy liliit. So yung nadagdag kay Frank, nakuha kay Dodoy at the expense of Dodoy. Di ba? And this is essentially what the proposed amendment is, will have the effect of the proposed amendment. No? So we try to simulate the impact on fishing, no, in the Visayan Sea. So we use data from catch and effort data sources from NSAF, fishers profiles from our work before, no, biomass information from salt surveys done together with BIFAR, showing that the biomass difference, no, there's a higher biomass in shallow waters, no, by 27 to 36%, no, than in deeper waters. No? So makatuwid, pagka pumasok ka sa mababaw na tubig, the chances are mas madami ng 20 to 30% at least yung makukuha mo. No? Okay? And then catch rates, no, commercial catch rates average, no, is about 3,700 kilograms per trip, as opposed to all municipal gear types, no, about 15.6 kilograms per trip. No? So that ang huli ng isang commercial trip, no, is equivalent to 240, yung huli ng 240 municipal trips. No? So, kung ang status ko, hindi naman papalit yan. Ano? Okay? So, ang proposed amendment, no, kung payagan sila pumasok sa shallow water, there is a minimum increase of 20% sa mahuhuli nila. No? Kasi mas mataas ang biomass dun. No? So, kung 20% ang increase ng catches ng commercial, no, that will amount to the same catch that 10,481 municipal fishers would have caught. No? Okay? So that yung 10,500 municipal fishers na yun, parang wala silang nahuli for the entire year. So completely displaced sila, walang trabaho, walang income, yung mga pamilya nila, walang suporta. No? Okay? So the higher scenario, no, is with 30%. No? Okay? So pag 30% yung na-increase dahil pinayagan sila pumasok sa mababaw, no? Okay? The equivalent would be 16,262 municipal fishers who will be completely displaced. No? Walang huli ito sa loob ng isang taon. No? Okay? So, pag tuloy-tuloy itong ginagawa na ito, wala na talaga totally displaced itong fishermen. Ito, no? Visayan Sea pa lang po ito. No? Okay? So that if we allow commercial fishing in municipal waters, no, are we prepared to provide livelihoods to these many fishers who will be displaced? No? Yun siguro dapat tanong natin sa gobyerno natin, no? Kung handa tayo. Okay? So yun lang gusto kong palabas. Yun lang gusto kong i-present sa inyo. Thank you very much.
Proceeding to the open forum of this special session to be facilitated by Mr. Dennis F. Calvan, Director for Policy and Government Engagement, RARE Philippines.
Sige, maraming salamat po. Danny, if you can go up the stairs. Pagpupugay po muna sa mga municipal na mangingisda at mga katutubong mangingisda sa buong Pilipinas. Mabuhay po kayo. Wala na pong patumpit-tumpit pa dahil 10 minuto lang ang inilaan po para sa open forum. Narinig naman po natin ang presentation ni Danny at ni Sir Willie. Alam ko maraming tanong, maraming emosyon, pero i-open po natin ngayon ang talakayan, no? Isang malayang talakayan. Sa atin pong mga participants at sa mga guests, mayroon po ba tayong tanong tungkol po doon sa dalawang presentations kanina? Paki-raise po ng kamay, tapos pakisabi po ng pangalan at ng inyong institusyon na kinabibilangan. Meron po ba? Sige, may nagtataas po ng isa at isa dito. Sige sir, patulong na lang po kung may mikropono. Sige sir, pwede po kayong magtanong na.
Okay, good morning po again. I am Alvin Soriano from the Provincial Government of Pangasinan. I am so impressed, Sir Dr. Campos, with your presentation. I really admire, na mas lalo akong na-enlighten doon sa inyong presentation, sir. My question is, na-present niyo po ba ito sa ating mga legislators, especially sa ating DA Secretary for his information? Kasi ang makakatulong kasi sa atin dito, it's the DA before to fight for our yung commercial fishing dito sa ating municipal waters, itong issue na ito. Na-present na po ba itong inyong presentation sa kanila?
Okay, maraming salamat. Sir, Doc Willie.
Yung portions of the information that I showed, napakita ko na to some regional offices ng BIFAR, no. Yung kabubuan siguro siguro si Danny siguro baka pwedeng no? Kasi may summary yung kabuuan ng presentation na I think recently meron kang may presented it somewhere or no?
Doon po sa mga consultations na before, we share what we can from the scientists po. No? Pero ang ironic lang po kasi doon, even yung mga taga-National Stock Assessment Program who present on the status of the fish stocks na mostly are red, like si Fredel nandito, we just had a forum in Palawan. Sila rin yung nagsasabi nitong same lines coming from the Secretary. So I really wonder kung anong pinagbabasehan nila when in fact, yung data ng National Stock Assessment Program shows contrary na wala na talagang dapat isasagad doon sa paghuhuli natin sa municipal waters.
Sige. Thank you. Ibang usapin pag present at pinakinggan, no? Ibang usapin 'yan. So, maraming pagkakataon I think na present ito. Pero inaantay pa natin yung kanilang response, no? Sige po. Salamat po. May iba pa po bang questions? Sige po. Pakisabi po yung pangalan at inyong institusyon.
Magandang umaga po. Jam Tabing po from RARE. Kahit sino po pwedeng mag-address. Na-present po ninyo kanina, isa sa mga key policy reforms ay yung sa FMA. And with the proposed amendments sa Fisheries Code, importante na i-consider natin yung legal changes na maaaring makaapekto doon sa intent tsaka function ng FMA framework. Given na yung FMA system is already intended to manage fisheries based on ecological and stock boundaries, paano po kaya maaaring makaapekto yung proposed amendments, makaapekto o maka-interact with the framework that's already in practice? I understand hindi ba kompleto yung harvest control strategies ng bawat FMA, pero ano po kaya yung potential na pwedeng maging problemang kaharapin once na maipasa itong proposed amendments? Tapos, second layer of question siguro. Alam natin na hinulma ng iba't ibang narrative based sa interest ng ibang partido na alam naman natin na pinupush ito ng commercial fishers. Paano po kaya natin matutulungan as academe, as NGOs, na fully implement yung fisheries code natin ngayon? Ayun lang po.
Sige. Kahit sino po pwedeng sumagot.
Siguro po dun sa unang tanong ang nakikita ko is, kung sakaling maamyandahan yung batas natin at talagang mapayagan yung commercial fishing, thereby increasing yung pressure uli sa municipal waters natin, malaking papel po yung pwedeng gampanan ng mga nasa management boards at scientific advisory groups ng FMAs. Kasi kahit paano sila yung pwede maglabas ng mga panukala, mga polisiya, para makontrol pa rin yung pagpasok at paghuli ng mga commercial fishing vessels sa municipal waters. Doon sa mga pwede po natin gawin, napakahalaga po, unang-una yung mga ganitong pagpupulong, is ipakalat natin impormasyon na ito yung para paparating na magiging problema na naman natin sa fisheries, and also to actually participate po doon sa FMAs and consultations, kasi napakahalagang yung boses po natin nadidinig, yung mga concerns natin nadidinig pagdating doon sa ating fisheries.
Okay, thank you. May iba pa po bang tanong? Sige, si Ka Fredel.
Magandang tanghali na po sa lahat. Actually, hindi po tanong, sir. Reaksyon lang. Medyo nalungkot lang ako sa narinig ko kanina, napanood at sa mga nakita kong binasa sa impacts ng proposed amendments na yan. So, alam naman natin na sa Pilipinas ay may national waters, may municipal waters, at may ancestral waters. So, base kayo na sa napanood ko, parang hindi na nai-considera dito yung ancestral waters. At sa mga amendments, hindi rin yata nai-considera dito yung maging culture sensitive. Sapagkat kaming mga katutubong maingisda na may ancestral waters, ay mayroon kaming mga sagradong lugar sa pangisdaan. Mga sagradong bahura na nagsisilbing kanlungan ng iba't ibang uri ng mga yamang dagat. Paano na lamang ang buhay nito paano na lang ang buhay ng mga katutubong umaasa dito. At pangalawa, bilang katutubong pamayanan na nag-initiate ng isang alternative sustainable livelihood sa aming mga nasakupan, bahagi naming pagpangalaga sa karagatan, sa karagatang katutubong karagatan, ay naglunsad po kami ng community-based sustainable tourism sa pamamagitan ng dugong watching ng mga endangered animals na natin, dugong, pawikan, manta-ray. So habang pinoprotektahan po namin ng itong mga endangered species na to, ay ginawa natin, kinonekta natin sa turista para magkaroon ng hanap buhay itong mababa na ang kinikita sa pangingisda. So kaya sa kasalukuyan, ay meron na po kaming 100 employee doon sa aming katutubong pamayanan na hindi kayang ibigay ito, na hindi kayang bigyan ng trabaho ng barangay at munisipyo dahil hindi sila nakapag-aral. Pero sa pamamagitan ng pagbabantay ng mga endangered species na to at sa pagkonekta namin sa turista, ay kumikita po sila ngayon at nababawasan ang impact ng paggamit ng ating pangisdaan. Dahil imbis na mangisda sila, nagbabantay na lang sila doon bilang tour guide, so may kinikita sila. So kung matutuloy ito, paano na lang po ito? Ano na ang magiging buhay ng mga katutubo sa kanilang mga katutubong pamayanan at katutubong karagatan? So yun lang po, medyo nakakalungkot kung sakasakaling mangyari ito. Salamat po.
Sige po. Maraming salamat po, Ka Fredel, isang katutubong mangingisda mula sa Palawan. May iba pa po bang gustong magtanong sa ating... Sige, sir.
Okay. So, magandang umaga sa ating lahat. I noticed there was some presentation on the amendments sa DEP. Yung changes sa 8550 will now be based on depth rather than distance.
Yes, sir.
And then, if I remember right, 20 meters or
20 fathoms.
20 fathoms. 20 fathoms. So that's gonna be mga around 400 meters. Kasi one fathom is 1.5 meters. So 1.5 times 20. Ilang 30 meters, no? So if we convert that to meters, that's gonna be 30 meters. So if that's going to be uniform all over the country, na yan yung limit, what would happen to habitats na kailangan ng mga species ng isda na more than 30 meters na depth? Now, for example, sa Zamboanga Peninsula, sa northern Zamboanga Peninsula is kantilado siya, and then yung spawning areas, yung present ni Dr. Campos kanina, halos 150 meters na yan or 200 meters depth. Does that mean na yun, pwede na yun magiging commercial fishing zone na yun, na those are spawning areas and fishing areas of municipal fisher folks. So siguro if we consider amending the definition or the demarcation of municipal waters, we have to be careful on the physical features, no, of the fishing grounds. So hindi siguro pwede na uniform na 20 or 30 meters depth yung boundary ng municipal waters sa commercial fishers. Kasi, and I also spoke with Dr. Mualil kay Richard na yung ibang species ng lapu-lapu umaabot ng malalim, no? 50 meters, more than 30 meters, doon sila nangingitlog bago mag-settle sa reefs yung mga juveniles. So does that mean, if we allow commercial fishers doon sa area na yun, na yung 30 meters na boundary, lahat ng lapu-lapu nagsuspawn, makukuha din nila. So that's something to think about.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Any other questions po from the group? I see, Sir Richard.
Thank you for sharing updates on this issue. No? Siguro, more than questions, parang suggestion siguro yung ko. Parang, kasi I think na parang too general or too, ano ba tawag dito? Sabihin natin, if we based it solely on either depth or distance alone. Kasi there may be some areas na kahit na-satisfy yung depth, but remember we have other uses of coastal areas. Imagine, halimbawa kami nagda-dive. Some of our dive sites are kantilado, sabi niya, ano. Tapos biglang may porcine dyan, no? Times di ba, kasama tayo sa catch. And then, navigation also. So I think, kung halimbawa, if we are really, I think, yung as presented by Sir Willie, no, and other mga ano, as science really tells us na if you increase effort in the municipal waters, talagang overfish na kasi at the present state eh. Tapos dagdagan mo pa. But if we are forced to amend that and let the true commercial fishing vessels encroach into the municipal waters, I think dapat samahan natin yun ng sort of zoning. Hindi siya parang strictly based on depth or distance. Even dito kahit sabihin natin nasa 15-20 kilometers na siya, kung may other uses siya than ano, baka pwedeng restricted doon. Zoning I think is, kasi sa Tawi-Tawi kasi, Solar Archipelago is really dagat. Lahat gumagamit ng dagat. So if nandyan yung commercial fishers, affect not only fishing, but actually the main livelihood, the culture, the way of life of the people affected. Yan ang siguro sa akin. Yung zoning ng ano. Hindi lang strictly on distance and depth. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. We can still accommodate 2 more questions or comments. May nagtataas po ba doon? Wala. Sige. Yes. Yes, sir.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Ayandrin Dimasuhid, Chairman of Isip de Remo Balyangaw. Ito po ay kung sa isip nyo ay isang tanong o isang suggestion, bahala na po kayo. Sa kalimitan kong ginagawang pagtitipon dito, ay palagi kong na-encounter yung laging problema. Hindi lang ito, Ipiminine, Napua, ang palagi lang na-encounter ko ay problema naming mangingisda dahil isa po akong mangingisda. Both coastal and pelagic. Sa aming mangingisda, lahat po ng aming ginagawa pangingisda ay para sa aming kabuhayan. At ito lang yung maitatanong ko sa lahat na nandito, kung may mataas man na ranggo ng Pilipinas dito, ito yung tanong ko. Lagi tayong nagtutuon sa problema pero hindi natin yun tinutuon yung ugat ng problema. Baka po sa maraming problema, pwede po ba tayong mag-concentrate sa isa lang problema? Ang problema po ay itong IUU fishing. Baka po dito maibsan yung may konekta natin yung lahat ng problema pag ito ay natigil na. Yun lang po.
Okay. Thank you sir sa inyong pagpapahayag ng saloobin at kaisa nyo po kami doon sa inyong sinabi. No? One last po from the audience. Meron pa? So, wala na po. No? I think we can proceed with the reaffirmation of the Philippine Small-Scale Fisheries National Symposium. This call was a product of the first, no? And we would like to propose to this symposium if we could reaffirm the resolution that was issued on the first Philippine Small-Scale Fisheries National Symposium. And please, palagpakan po muna natin yung dalawa po nating speakers. Thank you very much, Danny. Thank you very much, Sir Willie. No? So, babasahin ko po yung call to action. And then, may pinapaikot po ngayon na paper, na signature sheet that you can, if you're okay with the call to action, you can affix your signature, no? So that we can disseminate the call for action, especially sa ating mga government officials, no? So, I would like to read, whereas the amended Fisheries Code of the Philippines, Chapter 1, Section 2, declares a policy to protect the rights of fisherfolk, especially those in local communities, with priority given to municipal fisherfolk in the preferential use of municipal waters, and to provide support to the fishery sector, primarily to the municipal fisherfolk, including women and youth sectors. Whereas the 1987 Philippine Constitution, Article 2, Section 16, states that the state shall protect and advance the right of the people to a balanced and helpful ecology in accord with the rhythm and harmony of nature, and Section 22, that the state recognizes and promotes the rights of indigenous cultural communities. Whereas there are already published science-based pieces of evidences showing that most coastal fishing grounds and their resource stocks are overfished, also indicating that GPS-tracked fishing operations in Ticao Pass, Visayan Sea, and Zamboanga Peninsula fully utilize municipal waters and even extend up to 20 kilometers from the coast. Whereas decreases in catch rates from Zamboanga Peninsula over the last decade from various gear types show markedly decreased catch rates over the last 10 years. Whereas total capture fisheries production has consistently decreased since 2010, as reported by the Philippine Statistics Authority, such that any further increase in the production by one sector will result in a reduction in production by other sectors, thereby irreversibly displacing thousands of municipal fishers. Therefore, we, the participants of the second Philippine Small-Scale Fisheries National Symposium, have come together and discussed this issue and strongly and unanimously agree to call on Congress and Senate to uphold the existing RA 8550 as amended by RA 10654, which provides for the delineation of municipal waters and not allow commercial fishing operations within 15-kilometer municipal waters. We also call on concerned government agencies to fully implement the Fisheries Code of the Philippines. Our municipal small-scale fisherfolk are too big to ignore. Signed on the 23rd day of October 2025 at Mindanao State University, Main Campus, Marawi City. Yun po ang call to action that we would like to forward for this event. No? And as I've said, may signature sheet po na pinapaikot, and if you're okay with this, kindly affix your signature. And again, thank you very much po at muli pagpupugay po sa mga municipal at makakatutubong mangingisda sa buong Pilipinas.
At this moment of time, we would like to express our deepest gratitude to our speakers and moderator with a plaque and certificate of appreciation. To assist in the giving of the plaque and certificate of appreciation, calling on Vice President for Research and Extension of Mindanao State University System, Dr. Glenn A. Lorenzo, as well as the Vice Chancellor for Research and Extension of MSU Tawi-Tawi College of Technology and Oceanography and Chair of the Scientific and Arts Program Committee, Dr. Richard N. Molil. Allow me to read the citation of the plaque and certificate. In grateful appreciation of his invaluable contribution as presenter during the impacts of the proposed amendments to the Philippine Fisheries Code Special Session of the Second Philippines Small-Scale Fisheries National Symposium with the theme From Recognition to Action, Advancing Sustainable Small-Scale Fisheries in the Philippines, held on 21 to 23 October 2025 at Mindanao State University Main Campus, Marawi City. Given this 23rd of October 2025 at the International Convention Center of Mindanao State University Main Campus, Marawi City, Philippines. Signed by Attorney Paisalin P.D. Tago, President of Mindanao State University System, as well as Dr. Glenn A. Lorenzo, Vice President for Research and Extension, Mindanao State University System. This certificate of appreciation is hereby awarded to Mr. Danny Ocampo. A hand, please. The same certificate is given to Mr. Dennis F. Calvan. The same certificate of appreciation is given to Dr. Wilfredo Campos. Lastly, certificate of appreciation is given to Dr. Alice Joan Ferrer. Let us all give a big round of applause to our speakers and moderator for this special session.
Can I request, where are the Centra board? We have a photo taken, please. Here in front, those who would like to join us, we have Centra board actually. Ben, come here down. Diri na i-distribute. Those who are willing to join us in the photo, please come down and join us here, please. Those who are willing to have the photo taken, please come down. The others can occupy the space here. Others can come up here on stage.
Wala eh. Picture muna tayo. Okay, video tayo. Sigaw tayo ng atin ng 15. Sir Benzin, yun ba?
Yes po, yes.
Okay? Practice muna. Atin ng 15 as loud as we can. Ready? Start.
Atin ang 15.
Okay na? Oh, practice. Oh, second practice. Second practice. Ready? Start.
Atin ang 15.
Okay, this time with gusto. Oh yeah, with do. Sige, sige. Sige ha, galing sa puso. Sige. Ito, final na to, final. Ready? Start.
Atin ang 15.
Oh, okay ba yun? Oh, second take, second take. Ay, isa pa daw. Isa pa daw, isa pa daw. Oh, isa pa. Isa pa, atin ng 15. Parang pangit daw yung kuha. Oh, ready? Start. Okay.
TBTI Philippines.
O, TBTI na per request by Sir Benzin. Paano ang TBTI? TBTI Philippines. Woo! O, practice. TBTI Philippines. Ready? Start. Oh. With the symbol. TBTI. TBTI Philippines. Okay. Mabuhay. Sige, Philippines. TBTI, TBTI. Practice. Ready? Start. TBTI Philippines. Okay, perfect. Okay, ito na. Final. Official. Ready? Start. TBTI. Yay! Thank you.
Requesting everybody to please go back to your respective seat as we will now be proceeding to our program proper. At this moment of time, ladies and gentlemen, to reinforce our shared commitment to action, we now proceed to the signing of the manifesto, led by Dr. Ephraim B. Metilio, Vice Chancellor for Research and Enterprise of MSU Iligan Institute of Technology and member of the Scientific and Arts Program Committee.
Okay, so good noon, everyone. To further strengthen our commitment for a more inclusive, sustainable, and resilient small-scale fisheries, we adopt and declare the Marawi Manifesto. Please allow me to read the manifesto. We, the participants of the Conference on Small-Scale Fisheries in Marawi City, united by a shared commitment to safeguard the dignity, heritage, and future of small-scale fishers and fishing communities, hereby declare the Marawi Manifesto, a collective call to protect, sustain, and empower small-scale fisheries in inland and marine environments. In Marawi City and throughout the Philippines, small-scale fisheries are essential for the biodiversity, livelihood, food security, and cultural identity of communities, especially those surrounding Lake Lanao and other freshwater systems, as well as our extensive coastal and marine areas. These ecosystems and fisheries contribute significantly to local economies and sustainable development worldwide. Yet, despite their importance, small-scale fishes are often excluded from development plans, especially those under blue economy initiatives, placing them at a disadvantage and limiting their representation. We affirm that small-scale fisheries are vital to communities and ecosystems alike. Securing their future demands a comprehensive approach that includes protecting resources, conserving habitats, promoting inclusivity, advancing knowledge and technology, strengthening and monitoring and accountability, and preserving culture. Together, these commitments empower fishers and sustain their livelihoods for generations to come. First, protection and sustainable development of small-scale fisheries. Small-scale fisheries are at the heart of food systems, livelihood, and cultural traditions in coastal and inland communities. To secure their future, we commit to advocate for the recognition and protection of traditional fishing grounds and indigenous fishing rights, promote climate resilient and sustainable fishing practices that support present and future generations, and foster collaboration between fishing communities, local governments, and national agencies for inclusive governance of fisheries resources. Number two, conservation of inland and marine ecosystems. The health of aquatic ecosystems is fundamental to sustaining small-scale fisheries. We pledge to support the rehabilitation and protection of vital habitats such as Lake Lanao, rivers, mangroves, and coral reefs. Encourage ecosystem-based management that integrates the knowledge of fishers and indigenous peoples, and demand strict enforcement of laws against encroachment of municipal waters and illegal, unreported, and unregulated fishing practices. Number three, inclusivity and equality. Progress in fisheries depends on equitable participation. We commit to promote gender equality and empowering women, youth, and marginalized groups in fisheries leadership. Ensure fair access to resources, markets, and decision-making for all fishers, and advocate for just labor practices and the protection of fish workers' rights. Number four, knowledge and technology generation and transfer. Innovation must reflect the realities of small-scale fishers. We vow to invest in developing and sharing accessible and appropriate technologies, bridge traditional knowledge with scientific research for improved fisheries management, and build local capacity through training, partnerships, and knowledge exchange. Number five, monitoring, evaluation, and accountability. Transparent and participatory governance is key. We will promote community-led monitoring and evaluation of fisheries programs, support community-based data collection to guide policies and practices, and develop indicators reflecting environmental, social, and economic sustainability. Number six, awareness, education, and cultural preservation. Education and cultural pride sustain stewardship. So we pledge to raise awareness about the value of small-scale fisheries among the public, policymakers, and youth. Integrate fisheries education into formal and informal learning, and preserve and celebrate the language, traditions, and knowledge of fishing communities. So our call to action, let the Marawi Manifesto be a living proof of sustainability, hope, solidarity, and commitment. We call on local communities, government bodies, civil society, academic institutions, and the private sector to join us in fostering an inclusive, sustainable, and resilient future for small-scale fisheries. From the waters of Lake Lanao to the vast Philippine seas, may this manifesto echo the voices of our fishers as guardians of life, stewards of our waters, and pillars of our unique and diverse communities. Thank you. So please, on the right side here is our manifesto. Please, we encourage everybody to sign our manifesto. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Matilio, and to all the signatories for symbolizing our collective vision for sustainable and inclusive small-scale fisheries. Before proceeding to our next matter, let us all be entertained by a song number by Professor Jezreel Dongila. These original songs are simple offerings to honor the quiet courage of our small-scale fisheries. They will share them again today in the hope that their melodies reflect not just our stories, but our shared hopes for the fisheries sector and the country we serve. The lines we cast, written by Dr. Herman Lagun, composed by Mr. Solas, and performed by Professor Jezreel Dongila, tells of fisherfolk who rise before dawn, turning daily hardship into strength and survival into leadership. Let the Line Hold, written by Dr. Lagun, composed and performed by Professor Dongila, is a heartfelt ballad from coastal Iloilo. It speaks of kinship, shared responsibility, and quiet heroism. Together, these humble songs from Iloilo State University of Fisheries, Science, and Technology aim to give voice to the sea and to the people who keep its promise alive. Let's give her a big round of applause.
With names in faded paint, fuel is high, our earnings ain't. Mama's debts we still repay, but we rise with every day. I am not just amending names, I'm fixing what's wrong. This fight hasn't made me strong. We feed the nation quietly, and now we speak and speak freely. These are the lines that we cast, and we're not turning back. Traders squeezed and took their share till We built a network, we marked our name. Now empowered, now in the game. I'm not just mending nets, I'm fixing what's wrong. Salt runs deep in every step. This fight has made me strong. We feed the nation quietly, but now we speak and speak freely. These are the lines that we cast, and we're not turning back. Just enough once they find our worth. Now the data shows our deeper earth. From the sunrise to the evening's tide, we lead, not just survive. We're not just howling fish, we're claiming what's due. The sea is ours, this voice is ours. We see it now, it's true. We draw the line, we cast our pride, no longer pushed aside. These are the lines that we cast, and we're not turning back. Bangka hums beneath the sky, and we're all in dreams held high.
This next song is entitled Let the Line Hold. Yes. So we presented this yesterday during the art section or session in here, sa Crispino Hall.
Rose before the dawn, Bangka greet the sea yawned wide. Mina watched while the trawlers prowled. Inside her chest, the shore replied. 15 kilometers drawn in tide, not just miles, but hope and name. Not just fish, but roots and rights. Waves remember who stakes their claim. Let the line hold like nets once torn. Let the Kinsa speak to every storm. Let the women rise and the youth be bold. This is our sea. Let the line hold. Kitchens turned into learning halls. Fathers taught and mothers led. treasures brought data, not just their heart. Dreams on the ride in every shed. Let the light hold like nets once done. Let the kinsey speak through every storm. Let the women rise and the youth be bold. This is our sea. Let the light hold. Storms may shake the wooden oars, but dignity rise on humble shores. Policy bends when voices rise. Truth is told in Fisher's eyes. Let the light hold like tales once cast. Let the kinsey guard our futures past. Let the tide return what greed had stolen. This is our sea. Let the light hold. Let the light hold like nets once cast. Let the kinsey guard our futures past. Let the tide return what greed had stolen. This is our sea. Let the light hold. Let the tide return what greed had stolen. This is our sea. Let the line hold.
Once again, a big rounds of applause to Professor Dongilo for that very beautiful song number. Now comes one of the most awaited parts of this morning, the awarding of the winners of the competition. To present the awards, let us welcome Dr. Maan M. Camarin, Dean of the College of Fisheries and Aquatic Sciences of MSU Main Campus and Chair of the Competition Committee.
Hey, good noon, everyone. So we've now reached to one of the most anticipated highlights of our program, the announcement of winners for the student competition category. So over the past sessions, we have witnessed the impressive creativity, intellect, and passion of our students, from their research presentations in the speed oral competition to their innovative outputs in the poster and art session. But before we announce the winners, we would like to extend our heartfelt acknowledgement and appreciation to our esteemed panel of evaluators for dedicating their time, expertise, and insights in assessing the student entries. Your careful evaluation and constructive feedback greatly contributed to the success and integrity of our competitions. And now, to present the awards and certificates, may we invite Engineer Glenn Lorenzo, Vice President for Research and Development and overall Chair for the PSSF NS2 Steering Committee, and Dr. Alice Joan G. Ferrer, Executive Director of the TBTI Philippines. May we kindly invite you to join us on stage to present the certificates and cash prize to our winners. So to begin, we will have to start with the student speed oral competition under Inland and Marine Small-Scale Fisheries. Please allow me to read the citation for the awardee. So this certificate of recognition is awarded to for having won in the student oral competition category This recognition is given during the second Philippine Small-Scale Fisheries National Symposium with the theme From Recognition to Action, Advancing Sustainable Small-Scale Fisheries in the Philippines, held on October 21 to 23, 2025 at Mindanao State University Convention Center, Mindanao State University Main Campus, Marawi City, Lanao del Sur, Philippines. Signed, Engineer Glenny Lorenzo, PhD, Vice President for Research and Extension, Mindanao State University, Overall Chair, Steering Committee, PSS, FNS2. So all of our winners will receive the same certificate and the cash prize. So for our student speed oral competition, session 1, third place goes to Jilimia S. Ilicarti from MSU Buug with her co-author Joey Emageri, Madslan G. Abdullah, Giselle Lu Alahas, Noraisa E. Salipada, and Florife Gonzaga Torino, with her paper titled Ecological Assessment of Mangrove Species and their Role in Supporting Small-Scale Fisheries in the Coastal Areas of Rosler, T. Lim, Zamboanga, Sibugay, Philippines.
Okay.
And for the second place, we have Nursaline O. Amisali from MSU Tawi-Tawi College of Technology and Oceanography, with her paper titled Species Inventory, Abundance and Conservation Status of Shellfishes Sold in the Traditional Weekly Market of Panglima, Sogala, Tawi-Tawi. And for the first place, we have from MSU Tawi-Tawi College of Technology and Oceanography, Al Shalani O. Abdoraja, with her paper title, Species Composition and Abundance of Gleaned Marine Shellfishes and Selected Landing Sites in Bongao, Tawi-Tawi, Philippines. Okay, for our session 2 under the economics of small-scale fisheries and sociocultural aspects of small-scale fisheries theme, we have from MSU Buog, third place, Mike Adrian S. Opricina, with his paper titled Socioeconomic Conditions of Small-Scale Fisherfolk in the Coastal Communities of Rosler, T. Lim, Zamboanga, Sibugay. Second place, we have from Iloilo State University of Fisheries, Science and Technology, Melody Yvonne Ferrer, with her paper titled Pearl and Other Economically Valuable Oyster of Northern Iloilo, Morphometric Insights for Conservation and Fisheries. And for our first place, we have from MSU IIT, Angelica M. Daronday, with her paper titled The Vulnerability of Illegal, Unreported, and Unregulated Fishing in Municipality of Talusan, Zamboanga, Sibugay, Philippines. All right, for our student poster competition, so we have our third place from University of the Philippines, Visayas, Lisa Jane S. Sibuan, with her poster titled Species Composition and Breeding Habitat Characteristics of Marine Invertebrates in Banati, Iloilo. Second place goes to Kylie G. Umolon from MSU Jinsan, with her poster title seasonal and annual variability of sea surface current, salinity, and temperature of its influence on net primary productivity and zooplankton in Sarangani Bay, protected seascape, Philippines. And for our first place, we have from MSU Jensen, Miss Dawn Oliver Dumipeg, with her poster title, Detecting Marine Heat Waves, Characterizing its Spatio-Temporal Variation of Sea Surface Temperature Anomalies in Sarangani Bay, Protected Seascape, Southern Mindanao, Philippines. Okay, and now for our short film category, we have third place from Batangas State University, Cesar Anthony M. Demi, with his paper title, Bintol ni Otoy. And for our second place, we have from MSU main campus, we have Siti Aina E. Makod with her paper title, Kaithog Sapok. And for our first place, we have from Batangas State University, Kyle Andre M. De Los Reyes with his paper title, Kuyog, ang buhay na binilad sa dagat. And for our poetry category, we have third place from Batangas State University, Janver Gabriel Vergara. Second place from still Batangas State University, Kyle R. Layusa. And our first place for the poetry category, we have from Mindanao State University main campus, Emerhaya Nasruddin. And now for our short story writing category, we have third place from Batangas State University, Kyle Arla Yusa with his short story title, Katig. And second place, still from Batangas State University, we have Janver Gabriel Vergara with his short story title, The Sea Remembers What the Land Forgets. And for our first place, we have from MSU main campus, Siti Aina P. Makod with her short story title, Advent of Grief. And for our song category, song composition category, we only have one entry. So congratulations to Batangas State University, Cesar Anthony M. Dimi for his song titled Tidal of Change. And for our last category, the photo essay, we have third place from Batangas State University, Giancarlo E. Cagenti, with his photo essay title, No Choice But to Return. Second place, still from Batangas State University, Cesar Anthony M. Dimi, with his photo essay title, Pauwi na si Papa. And for the first place, we have from MSU Main Campus, Jawawi Arbaginda with his photo essay title, Awang. So once again, let us give a warm round of applause to all our winners and participants for showcasing their research, creativity, and passion. And also to our evaluators and to our award presenters for making this event a success. May this event continue to inspire excellence, collaboration, and advocacy for sustainable small-scale fisheries. And once again, congratulations and a pleasant noon.
Requesting once again Dr. Glenn A. Lorenzo, Dr. Alice Ferrer, and Dr. Richard N. Malil to stay on stage to assist in the awarding of plaque to our generous sponsors. In grateful appreciation for its invaluable support as sponsor during the second Philippine Small-Scale Fisheries National Symposium with the theme From Recognition to Action, Advancing Sustainable Small-Scale Fisheries in the Philippines on 21 to 23 October 2025, given this 21st day of October 2025 at International Convention Center, Mindanao State University Main Campus, Marawi City, signed by Engineer Glenn A. Lorenzo, Vice President for Research and Extension of MSU System, and President Attorney Paisalin P.D. Tago of Mindanao State University System. This plaque of appreciation is presented to Philippine Council for Agriculture and Fisheries. A hand, please. Once again, this plaque of appreciation is presented to Philippine Council for Agriculture and Fisheries. The same plaque of appreciation is presented to Food and Agriculture Organization. The same plaque of appreciation is presented to Philippine Council for Agriculture, Aquatic and Natural Resources Research and Development. A hand, please. Once again, the same plaque of appreciation is presented to Philippine Council for Agriculture, Aquatic and Natural Resources, Research and Development. Once again, this plaque of appreciation is presented to Philippine Council for Agriculture and Fisheries, or PCAF. We thank our sponsors for supporting this initiative. At this moment of time, ladies and gentlemen, to deliver a message of gratitude, let us all welcome the leader of Banawa Kalamya Tribe and the Vice Chairman of Indigenous Peoples Organization. Let us all give a sounding round of applause to Mr. Fredel Muid.
Paumanhin po, hindi ko na po kayo isa-isahin. Isang makakatutubo at makakalikasang pagbati ng magandang hapon, magandang araw sa inyong lahat. Sa mga kapwa ko katutubo, maligayang pagdiriwang ng buwan at araw ng mga katutubo. Ako po si Fredel Muid, isang katutubong Tagbanwa Kalamyan. At ang aming pangunahing kinabubuhay ay pangingisda. Sa kasalukuyan, ako po ay naka-enroll sa alma mater ni Kadudoy sa University of Actual Experience. At hopefully, sa pagdating ng mga araw, ay marating ko rin ang PhD. So, sa muli, ay ikinararangal ko na mapabilang at maging bahagi ng Second Philippine Small Scale Fisheries National Symposium. At tamang-tama yung nakita kong tema. Kasi nung unang symposium, ay malaki ng pasasalamat namin sapagkat na-recognize kami, ang aming sektor, ang sa laylayan. Ngayon, naramdaman ko sa ikalawa, na nandun na yung aksyon. So, dahil dyan, matapos ang 3 araw, humigit kumulang 3 araw, ay narinig ko ang mga inspirational interventions at ang mga masusustansyang mga mensahe. Marami akong naging takeaways. At na-amplify ako na patuloy na isulong at ipaglaban ang aming karapatan bilang mga artisanong mangingisda sa municipal waters at ancestral waters. Nung marinig ko, kani-kanina lang, yung magandang tinig, yung napakagandang tinig na inialay para sa mga mangingisda, ay lalong lumakas ang loob ko na ipagsigawan ang Atin ng 15. Atin ng 15, ito ay tila simpleng pahayag, ngunit malalim pala ang pinaghuhugutan nito ng salitang atin. Hindi lang pala ito tungkol sa pagmamayari. Ang atin ay may kaakibat pala na pananagutan, pagmamalasakit at responsibilidad. Hindi lang pala ito tungkol sa pagbibigay proteksyon sa isang bagay. Ito rin ay tungkol sa kung paano tayo pinagbubuklod ng ating mga likas na yaman. Kung paano ang dagat, lupa at kalikasan ay hindi lamang pinagkukunan ng kabuhayan, kundi ugat ito ng ating pagkatao bilang isang komunidad. Ang kalusugan ng pangisdaan at kalikasan ay kalusugan ng mga mamamayan, lalo na ng mga mangingisdang nasa laylayan ng lipunan. Ang kalidad ng buhay ng mga mangingisda ay ayon sa kalidad ng pangisdaan. Ito po yung aking mga natutunan sa halos 3 araw natin dito. Kung kaya, maraming salamat sa TBTI Philippines sa pamumuno ni Dr. Alice G. Ferrer, kay Dr. Clement C. Camposano, Chancellor ng University of the Philippines, Visayas, Lead University Consortium of TBTI Philippines. Kayo po ang ginamit ng Panginoon para makarating ako sa mahalaga at makasaysayang symposium na ito. Salamat sa Philippine Small Scale Fisheries National Symposium dahil sa pamamagitan nito ay nagsisilbing tulay upang mabigyan ng pansin ang kalagayan ng mga nasa laylayan sa industriya ng pangisda. Ang maging bahagi kami ng symposium na ito ay indikasyon na unti-unti kaming nabibigyan ng pansin ang mga katutubong mangingisda at ang iba pang mga katutubo sa iba pang mangingisda sa municipal waters. Unti-unti nang natatanaw ang mga maliliit na mangingisda na matagal nang hindi masyadong nabibigyan ng pansin at madalas ay nalilimutan ang kanilang ambag sa inihahaing pagkain sa bawat hapag. Salamat sa patuloy na paggawa ng mga kaparaanan upang maimulat kaming mga artisanong mangingisda sa mga karapatan at oportunidad sa 15 kilometrong pangisdaan. Tulad na lamang ng pagbabalangkas ng mga very informative materials na isinalin pa sa iba't ibang wika. At napakaswerte kami sa Palawan kasi nakita ko kahapon ay halos tatlong wika, isinalin sa 3 wika sa amin sa Palawan. Kuyunin, Cagayanan at Agutaynan. Sa Palawan po kasi ay mayroon kaming 9 na tribo. Kung kaya mayroon din kaming 9 na wika sa Palawan. Pero yung ginagamit namin halos sa pakikipag-ugnayan sa Palawan ay kuyunin. So naniniwala akong maaaring sapat na ito para lalong maintindihan ng aming mga kasamahan sa mga malalayong lugar o sa mga isla. Salamat sa mga partners, sa aming mga katuwang, para mapagtagumpayan ang symposium na ito sa iba't ibang kinatawan ng mga NGO, sa academe, sa LGU, sa pinakitang inspiration ni Mayor Coro, at sa mga piling NGAs na sumusuporta sa atin. At siyempre, maraming salamat sa host ng Second Philippine Small Scale Fisheries National Symposium sa inyong very hospitable, magiliw, mapagkalingang pagpapadayon sa amin dito sa tahanan ng inklusibong pamantasan ng Mindanao State University sa pamumuno ni Attorney Paisalin P.D. Tago. Marami akong mga naging good and memorable experiences habang nandito ako. Isa na po ang aking pagpupugay sa aking natunghayang pagtatanghal ng inyong buhay at makulay na kultura at tradisyon. At gano'n na rin lang aking pasasalamat sa mga naging punong abala at naging abala sa symposium na ito. Sa pangunguna ni overall chairman ng Philippine Small Scale Fisheries National Symposium 2, sa ating steering committee, kay Dr. Glenn E. Lorenzo. At congratulations sa hitik na bunga ng tagumpay ng Philippine Small Scale Fisheries National Symposium dito sa Mindanao State University, Marawi City. Sa muli, marami pong salamat.
Thank you very much, Mr. Fidel. Indeed, ang lahat ay may kaakibat na responsibilidad. Mabuhay po ang lahat ng artesang mangingisda sa Pilipinas. To assist in the awarding of plaque and appreciation to Mr. Fidel, requesting the presence of Dr. Glenn A. Lorenzo, Dr. Alice Joan G. Ferrer, and Dr. Richard N. Walel. Allow me to read the citation of the plaque of appreciation. In grateful appreciation for his distinguished presence and message of gratitude as special guest during the second Philippine Small-Scale Fisheries National Symposium with the theme From Recognition to Action, Advancing Sustainable Small-Scale Fisheries in the Philippines, given this 23rd day of October 2025 at International Convention Center, Mindanao State University Main Campus, Marawi City. Signed by Engineer Glenn A. Lorenzo, Vice President for Research and Extension of MSU System, and Attorney Paisalin P.D. Tago, CPA, President of Mindanao State University System. This plaque of appreciation is presented to Mr. Fidel Muid. A round of applause, please. At this point of time, ladies and gentlemen, let us all take a moment to look back on our journey together through a symposium video presentation, highlighting the key moments, insights, and milestones from the past days.
dala. Pasok sa eskwela, karunungan ng sandata.
Mithiin ng bawat isang pagkakaisa. Kultura may magkaiba, MSU sandigan ka.
Halina't magsama-sama, ipakita kung sino ka.
Isigaw! MSU, tahanan ng husay. Pangalan kong ipagsigawan ka. MSU, ang ating pangarap. Bawat hapang tayo'y nagtatagumpay. Ipangangarita, itataas yung bandila. Anumang hamon susulong ka. MSU, maliwanag ang bukas. Ikaw, ako, tayo. MSU ang tayo.
Sa bawat laban, tayo'y bida. Sa puso't diwa, laging una.
Pangalan mo'y laging dala. MSU kanlungan ka.
Halina't magsama-sama, ipakita kung sino ka.
Isigaw! MSU, tahanan ng husay. Pangalan kong ipagsigawan ka. MSU, ang ating pangarap. Bawat hapang tayo'y nagtatagumpay. Ipangangarita, itataas yung bandila. Anumang hamon susulong ka. MSU, maliwanag ang bukas. Ikaw, ako, tayo. MSU ang tayo.
Pinili mo ako't naging matatag. Minulat mo ako't nakita ang bukas.
Ilawan mo aking daan.
Pangalan mo'y pagsigawan.
MSU, tahanan ng husay. Pangalan kong ipagsigawan ka. MSU, ang ating pangarap. Bawat hapang tayo'y nagtatagumpay. Ipangangarita, itataas yung bandila. Anumang hapon susulong ka. MSU, maliwanag ang bukas. Ikaw, ako, tayo. Ikaw, ako, tayo. MSU ang tayo.
Wow, indeed, those moments remind us that every collaboration and conversation brings us closer to our shared goals. We now come to an important highlight, the turnover and announcement of the 3rd Philippines Small-Scale Fisheries National Symposium. To officially make the announcement, may we call on the Vice President for Research and Extension of MSU System, Dr. Glenn A. Lorenzo, assisted by Dr. Clement C. Camposano, Chancellor of the University of the Philippines, Visayas. to receive the plaque, calling on Dr. Enrico Dalangin, Chancellor of Batangas State University, Nasugbu Campus.
Good afternoon. On behalf of MSU System President Attorney Paisalin P. Ditago, I am now formally turning over to Batangas State University the responsibility to host the 3rd Philippine Small-Scale Fisheries National Symposium next year, as symbolizes by the giving of this turnover plaque.
To deliver his acceptance speech as the host of the next symposium, let us all welcome once again Dr. Enrico Dalangin, Chancellor of Batangas State University, Nasugbu Campus.
Allow me to read the message of acceptance of Dr. Tirso Eronquillo, President of Batangas State University. Distinguished guests, partners in government and industry, esteemed colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. On behalf of Batangas State University, the National Engineering University, I am deeply honored to accept the privilege of hosting the 3rd Philippine Small-Scale Fisheries National Symposium. This recognition carries profound meaning for us, not only because of the trust it represents, but because it resonates deeply with our identity, our mandate, and our commitment to national development. For us Filipinos, fisheries are more than a livelihood. They are a way of life. More than half of our population depends on fish as a primary source of protein. The sector provides direct employment to around 1.4 million workers, while another 500,000 Filipinos rely on fish-related livelihoods. Yet, these lifelines are under growing threat. Around 75% of our fishing grounds are already overfished, and the productivity of our marine ecosystems continues to decline. These figures reminds us that our collective work across research, policy, and community action is not just important, but urgent. As the National Engineering University, Batangas State University carries a unique responsibility to harness science, technology, and innovation in addressing national challenges. Through our Arasoft Nasugbu campus, located along the productive coastal stretch of Batangas and home to vibrant fishing communities, we have seen firsthand both the promise and the pressures faced by small-scale fishers. Our research and extension programs have long been guided by the same ideals that TBTI Philippines upholds: sustainability, inclusivity, and evidence-based collaboration. To us, this hosting is not merely an honor. It is responsibility we accept with conviction. We look forward to building on the foundation laid by the Mindanao State University system and our partners in TBTI Philippines. The third symposium will be an opportunity to deepen our shared efforts to strengthen science-based policymaking, amplify the voices of our fisher folk, and integrate engineering and community-driven approaches that secure both livelihoods and ecosystem. We accept this hosting with deep gratitude and full commitment to sustain the dialogue, to uphold the purpose of this gathering, and to work together toward a more resilient and equitable future for small-scale fisheries in the Philippines. Maraming salamat po, and we look forward to welcoming you all to Batangas for the 3rd Philippine Small-Scale Fisheries National Symposium. Mabuhay po tayong lahat.
To express our gratitude to our third host representative, we would like to present this plaque of appreciation. But before that, requesting once again the presence of Dr. Glenn A. Lorenzo, Dr. Alice Joan G. Ferrer, and Dr. Richard N. Mualil. Allow me to read the citation of this plaque of appreciation. In grateful appreciation for his distinguished presence and acceptance speech as special guest during the second Philippine Small-Scale Fisheries National Symposium with the theme From Recognition to Action, Advancing Sustainable Small-Scale Fisheries in the Philippines on 21 to 23 October 2025. Signed by Dr. Glenn A. Lorenzo, Vice President for Research and Extension of MSU System, and Attorney Paisalin P.D. Tago, CPA, President of Mindanao State University System. This plaque of appreciation is presented to Dr. Enrico M. Dalangin. A hand, please. At this moment of time, to deliver her closing message, let us all welcome the Executive Director of Too Big to Ignore Philippines. A big round of applause to Dr. Alice Joan G. Ferrer.
One minute to 1 o'clock. As we come to the close of this meaningful gathering, the second Philippine Small-Scale Fisheries National Symposium, let's take a moment to look back at what this event or this symposium truly stands for. Over the past days, 3 days, 2.5 to be exact, we have listened, shared, and reflected on many stories, studies, and struggles that define the small-scale fisheries in the Philippines. We have recognized their value, their voices, and their vital role in sustaining our communities, feeding our people, shaping our local economies. Our theme, again, reminds us that recognition is only the beginning. The real challenge begins now in turning recognition into action. Action that means stronger implementation of the SSF guidelines. I hope when you go back home, one of the things that you will remember is the NPOA, National Plan of Action for Small-Scale Fisheries in the Philippines. This action that empowers the fisherfolk organizations and ensures their inclusion in decision-making. Action that transforms research into real change, to policy, to practice, and in everyday lives of fishing communities. Let this symposium not end as a series of papers or presentations, but as a collective call, a call to protect our small-scale fishers, to restore our seas, and to build equitable, sustainable coastal futures. To everybody in this room, I hope that our work continues beyond this venue. We may leave the symposium with renewed resolve to speak louder for those often unheard, to act braver for those often unseen, and to collaborate stronger for those who depend on the sea for life and dignity. Thank you very much, MSU Marawi family. As in, we are now closing. So much story, so much experience, so much voices we've heard the past 3 days. So thank you very much for making this possible for all of us, MSU system, MSU family. Together, let us continue to advance small-scale fisheries from recognition to action, from promise to practice, and from the shores of today toward the sustainable seas of tomorrow. Maraming salamat sa ating lahat. And this is maybe the last time I will have this microphone. God bless us all. And I really hope to see you next year in Batangas State University. Thank you again, everyone.
Thank you very much, Doc Alice, for that very heartfelt message. And now, ladies and gents, to officially close this meaningful gathering, may we now invite Dr. Fema M. Abamo, Vice Chancellor for Research, Extension, and Development of Mindanao State University Main Campus, and Chair of the Plenary Sessions Committee, for her closing remarks.
Finally, here on the resonant grounds of Mindanao State University Main Campus, a place that stands as a beacon of peace, resilience, and intellectual pursuits in Mindanao, we have gathered for these 3 powerful days for the second FNS, or the Philippines Small-Scale Fisheries National Symposium. We came with a mission framed by our own theme. Alam niyo ba anong theme natin? From recognition to action, advancing small-scale fisheries in the Philippines. Now, the symposium is about to come to its conclusion. Why don't we give each one a round of applause? And in the shadow of this university's enduring spirit, alam niyo naman nung nangyari sa amin. Kaya talagang nag-endure po ng shoot despite what had happened. We have done more than just talks. We have listened. Kung nakikinig po tayo. We have listened to the voices from the freshwater and marine coastlines of Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. We have listened from the voices or the voice of the fishermen, from the fisheries managers, from the NGOs, advocacy groups, and media. We've listened from the experts, the scientists, the researchers. We have listened from the policy makers, from our R&D funders. We have listened and watched the presentations of our students, our faculty, researchers, our experts, and viewed the oral or watched and viewed the oral and poster presentations, and even watch the artists' short films, stories, tula, song, photo aces. Ang dami po. Ano bang nakalimutan ko? Lahat ito ay na-watch natin. Lahat ito ay napakinggan natin. So we listened and we recognized the hardships, the challenges, and the shared struggles, and the tears, and the joys, and the inspiring stories, and the victories of all those who shared and we come to listen to. We listened to the voices of the tribe people, not just in Mindanao, but across the Philippines. Diba? Represented po ang tribe people of the Philippines. We have the Lumads, we have the Muslims, and we have the Christians. And I think that all also deserve a rather round of applause. Now thank you. This symposium was our collective pledge to move beyond acknowledgement, beyond recognition. The dialogue now transformed into duty. Are you with me? The action begins now. The recognition temporarily ends here. The side-by-side or collectively, where we might be affiliated, kung saan man tayo na-connect or na-connected, we have a duty to perform. We held stand to advance the small-scale fisheries in the Philippines, which is too big to ignore. We leave Marawi not just with new knowledge, but with a renewed responsibility, a fired commitment. We carry the weight of expectations. Lagot tayong lahat. From the shores of Lake Lanao, alam niyo ba may Lake Lanao tayo diyan, to the coastlines of the Philippines. Atin ang akin meron tayong seas to conquer, to own. Now, we manifested our support and our commitment by signing the manifesto. Sino pang hindi nakasign? When we signed that manifesto, or I should say the Marawi Manifesto, sisingilin po kayo ng Allah. Sisingilin po kayo ng Almighty God, because for God, every commitment that we made, it's not just for each other. Part po si God sa commitment na ginawa natin today. And He is a witness of that. Kaya palakpakan naman natin ang bawat isa for, attesting their signature doon sa manifesto, the Marawi Manifesto. Now, Thanksgiving are in order. In behalf of the MSU System President, Attorney Paisalin PD Tagos, CPA, we extend our heartfelt thanksgiving to everyone who came to MSU main campus and participated in the second Philippine Small-Scale Fisheries National Symposium. We thank all the fishermen, the students, the researchers, the scientists, the experts, the local leaders, the regional leaders, the national leaders, the private sectors, the NGOs, the sponsors, the various schools, HEIs. Hindi tayo tinantanan ng leader ng isang campus chancellor natin dito from UPV. Si Camposano, andito po siya. All the way po, he is with us. And of course, the HEIs, various HEIs and schools who participated with their heads and representatives who came and actively participated the symposium. It was indeed a success, kaya another round of applause. Nakalimutan ko bang pasalamatan ng ating mga expert speakers? Thank you po sa inyo. Now, of course, still in behalf of our President, we would like to thank TBTI Philippines, and this is led by Executive Director, Dr. Alice Joan G. Ferrer, at ang buong kasamahan po ng TBTI for choosing MSU as the host of the second TBTI Symposium. Salamat po, TBTI. We are truly honored and humbled. Kita-kita tayo sa next TBTI. Saan po? Sa Batangas. Now, of course, in behalf of our chairperson, kilala niyo ba ang chairperson? The steering committee of the second PSSFNS. Our young and handsome engineer, Dr. Engineer Professor Glenn Lorenzo. In his behalf, gusto po naming pasalamatan. Uy, balikan natin. Kunti lang ang palakpak. Okay. In his behalf po, as chair of the steering committee of this second PSSFNS. Salamat po to the MSU System President. Or, I should say, thank you MSU System Presidents who did not hesitate to support TBTI when we informed him about this ongoing endeavor kahit bago pa po siya or nung naupo siya as our president of the MSU system. At buong puso po niyang sinuportahan ang TBTI na to. Kaya po, well, why don't we give another round of applause for our president who gave his all-out support para po ito ay magkaroon po ng katuparan. Thank you. Now, hindi lang po yun. He was able to get the support of all his chancellors and campus heads. Alam niyo ba, nung dinner natin, ang doon po ang lahat ng mga chancellors ni President, campus heads. The chancellors and the campus heads were there during that Pagana Maranao. Kaya marami pong salamat, President, and your officials. Buong pwersa po na sinuportahan ng MSU system, one MSU, ang inklusibong pamantasan. Now, on behalf of the MSU system president and the chairperson, in behalf na to kay President of the MSU system and our VP Glenn, the chairperson of the PNSF, we thank the various committees created from system to local. Meron kaming committees sa MSU system created, meron din kaming committees created locally dito sa main campus. So bottoms up ba or top down? Of course, kung hindi nyo lang alam at hindi nyo naitanong, ikwento ko na lang po sa inyo. Lahat po ng officials sa system at sa campus ay involved po sa symposium na to, from the president down to the EVPs, VPs, vice chancellors, directors, deans, heads of the different units, the deans, the faculty, staff, students. Daghan po kaayong salamat sa inyong pagtabang. Okay, I think the committees deserve around louder palakpak for that. You know, sa lahat po ng mga dramas natin, the sleepless nights, and the mission impossible stunts that we all made during the preparation and even during the ongoing and maybe after the exit conference, baka may mga drama pa tayo or baka may mga stunts pa tayong gagawin. But with that, salamat na daan sa walang sawang pagsusuporta po sa event na to. Okay, now, and of course, in behalf of the chairperson of the TBTI at buong puwersa po ng 1MSU, gusto po naming pasalamatan ang ating chair of the second PSSFNS. Nasabi ko na ang ating young and very handsome Vice President for Research and Extension. Saan ako magsimula? Professor, Dr., Engineer, VP Glenn Lorenzo for accepting the challenge. Alam nyo, nadagdagan yung kaniyang puting buhok at nadagdagan po yung kaniyang kunot. Dahil so you know, the challenge being the chairperson. But sir, rest assured, guwapo pa rin po kayo. And of course, sige, mas ibang palakpak naman dyan. And of course, in behalf of the Lastly, we honor our Almighty God who made everything possible. I think our Almighty God deserve louder approach than anyone we acknowledge. Salamat po, Panginoon. So to all of us who are here, this is a historic moment of MSU. This really goes down to history. And whether you like it or not, part na talaga kayo sa history na to. And the history begins today. And we're looking to the realization of that manifesto we signed. We are looking forward to that day, the realization of the inclusive, sustainable, and resilient small-scale fisheries in the Philippines. So with that, padayon, mabuhay ang Pilipinas, mabuhay ang TBTI Philippines, mabuhay ang BARM, mabuhay ang inklusibong pamantasan, and that is MSU. Maraming salamat po sa ating lahat at atin po ang 15. With that one, a round of applause. Thank you, God. Thank you, everyone. Indeed, glory to God.
Thank you very much, Ma'am Fema. And that officially concludes the closing ceremony of the second Philippine Small-Scale Fisheries National Symposium. We thank everyone, our organizers, speakers, partners, and participants for making this symposium a success. Maraming salamat, daghang salamat, and mabuhay tayong lahat.
Announcement for our tour. We will go direct to Ground Zero, Lakeside, at Ground Zero. So at downstairs, there will be bus na ang sasakay doon yung Iligan-bound participants after the tour. Tapos yung ibang bus, yung dito lang within the Marawi City ng mga hotels after the tour. So mayroong signage doon, so just follow the bus kung saan kayo dapat. Thank you and see you around.
Please do not forget to scan our evaluation form before leaving the venue. To those of you who are looking for a souvenir, pasalubong items, and or food to eat while on travel later, you may check our marketplace and souvenir shop at the ground floor of this building. Thank you. Once again, do not forget to scan the QR here for the evaluation form before leaving the venue. Once again, to those of you who are looking for a souvenir, pasalubong items, and or food to eat while on travel later, you may check our marketplace and souvenir shop at the ground floor of this building. Marami pong salamat.